Folks, this is Chasing the Truth. Sean G is on the air over on the Paranormal Radio app and in Dark Waters room over there. Dark Waters channel, Paranormal Radio app. Definitely go over there and check that out. If you are on the Paranormal Radio app, wait just a second. What's going on with my issue with remote server? Please check again. Alright, something's up with this. I don't know. But give me just a second. I'm going to have to go back over and redo something real quick. But it looks like I'm not on the Paranormal Radio app. Maybe retry. Let me try this out again. And turn this on and hit OK. Connecting. Let's see. Alright, well anyway, looks like I'm not on the Paranormal Radio app tonight. I'm not going to mess with it, so that's good. I'm just straight up over here on, let's see, what am I doing? Oh, I'm over here on YouTube. Just to let you guys know. And just to tell you, hey, welcome aboard everybody. Miss T, Silent Rain, Coastal Gal, Mr. D, Knuckle Dale. Listening to the last show. Are you talking about the last Saturday show? Wow, it started off slow, but holy cow, it just rocked after about the first hour. So, and sorry about that, Mr. D Knuckle Hard on the coastal right coasters, folks. It is what it is, and it's just something that whatever is going on. Unfortunately, this is the time that I actually get more listeners. Please like, share, and subscribe this thing out. Let's see, do I have anything going on in here with the audio? Give me just a second. Let me get the audio. Okay, folks. It looks like I'm not going to be on Paranormal Radio app, so that's all right. Until I get it figured out, I should have popped on there and make sure that that was going good. There may be a little snafu in the system, but we'll see. I'll get it set up for later on tonight, or later on for the Saturday show over there on the Dark Waters channel. So, how you guys doing? What's going on over there in the YouTube? We're just totally YouTube tonight. Something's going on with my connection over on the Paranormal Radio app. It may be, there might have had a key change or something over there, but who knows. Silent Rain. Let's see who else is in here. JD's over here. Let me get my chat going on up here. And let's see. Alrighty. Let's go down here and check these folks out and see how things are going. Oh, there's Miss T. Love my life. I done said that. All right. So, unscreened open lines, folks, is all I can tell you. That's what I'm good for, good by, good to do. 931-994-6917. Please go out there and share this out. Like it. Hit those thumbs up. Subscribe to myself, Chasing the Truth, Sean G, over on the Dark Waters channel as well. I've got a Apple Podcasts. We're always updating and upgrading Apple Podcasts. Chasing the Truth over there, Sean G. I think Thaddeus Cray has been upgrading that thing over there. I think I just talked to him earlier and he was doing something. Definitely go over to Thaddeus Cray. He just released a short video on trolls and what his opinion and a couple tidbits about history of the trolls. But let's get this thing situated here. We got open line, chat browser. Oh, there we go. There's the chat browser. Looks like it's doing pretty good. And, yeah. Anyway, let's get Windows open. Did I say howdy to everybody over here in the chat? Let me make sure I got all that stuff situated. Alrighty. Let's see. We got Gene. Gene was the first person on the chat earlier after I said, how's everyone in the fantastic world of Wednesday? Hump day over there. Hump day as it is over here, I guess. But looks like some crazy stuff that's happening in the world. We'll be going over some highlights for cryptids and UFO news and whatnot from my Flipboard over here. But how you guys doing? Anything interesting happen over there with Dale and Mr. D Knuckle, Aaron, the whole shebang? Let's see, we got, let's see, let me get down here. Give a couple of shout outs and thank yous to a few folks that actually thought enough about this show and gave, a tip. But you don't have to tip me if you don't feel like you tip anybody. That's fine. If you do feel like tipping, the easiest way to tip is hit those thumbs up. Share the stream out to your dog, your cat, your neighbor's parakeet, that cat that likes to call in the middle of the night on your porch. Just saying. But I've had some cat calls and cat mating out on my porch a couple of times in the middle of the night and kind of wonder, what the heck's that? What paranormal is happening out on my porch? Hard to tell, but there you go. Let's see. We've got Scott G, One Man Band, Tony over there, and Alan F. All those fine folks have decided to give me a tip. You can tip me if you like. I've got a pay. Oh, there we go. Added that little Joker thing. There is just something to kind of break the monotony kind of stuff. But yeah, there you go. But got a PayPal account and a Cash App account. If you'd like to tip me that way, that's fine. You don't have to. No need for it at all, unless you'd like to. This thing is definitely not a free venture. Anybody that does this for free, says they do it for free on YouTube, ain't telling the whole truth at all. There's cost behind this. So, just to let you guys know, but it's free to listen to, that's for sure. Absolutely. Del P, brother, what's going on? One Man Band? Like I said, this is Unscreened Open Lines, 931-994-6917. And let's jump to some of the paranormal stuff that I've come across today. Looks like this is off of Phantoms and Monsters, Lon Strickler's website over there, the repository for all things supernatural, unnatural, cryptid, you name it, it's over here. Wednesday, September 8th, well, heck, that's today, off of Paranormal, or phantomsandmonsters.com. Give the correct things out there. Glimmerman entity appeared before 2 Idaho hunters. Del P, wasn't you the one that somebody called in and gave a Glimmerman story? I think was it you, Del, or somebody else? I can't remember. I do remember a Glimmerman sighting. It was interesting. That was for sure. Idaho resident encounters a Glimmerman while hunting. His buddy also observed the same unknown entity. Is this a cloaked cryptid or something directly out of Alien Predator movie series? Following account was forwarded to me by friends Cam and Kyle at the Expanded Perspectives. And definitely go over there to Expanded Perspectives. Several years ago, I moved to northern Idaho. I was always a hunter growing up and was excited to live somewhere with a more dense forest and more game to hunt. Since I was new to the area, I went out with my co-worker for my first few trips. We became good friends and became good hunting buddies. Well, that's cool. And about 2 years ago, we went out for elk about an hour south of the Canadian border. Hey, they released elk here probably over a decade ago. And that's when I found out my first big, real Bigfoot story that somebody told me. And I was like, holy hell, that happened to you? And it was one of my high school buddies. But, yeah, I digress. About 2 years, we went out for elk an hour south of the Canadian border. Probably just right south of where Miss T is. Somewhere in the Canadian border. Everything in Canada is right to the left of Miss T. Just to let you know. Let's see. We went out and were scouting an area before we actually went on to the hunt. We had been hiking for hours through fairly dense woods. When we came up on a small clearing, it was about 20 yards by 50 yards before we entered it. I told my friend to stop. Something about the clearing did not feel right. He said, "You have a weird feeling too." Well, there you go. How many times have you popped up about ready to have something supernatural or something crazy happen to you and you get this tingling spider sense? Hey, there's Thaddeus Cray Bass. What's up? Thanks for holding those wrenches over there. And his buddy said, yeah, almost like it's a trap. We agreed to go around the clearing and continue with trying to find a spot. We ended up finding spots and marking them with our GPS. And went on next weekend. We came back to hunt. We got there 2 or 3 hours before sunrise, which, as any good hunter would do, and started hiking in. We split to go to our spots, and after about 30 minutes of walking, I found myself in the same clearing. I no longer had that weird feeling, but knew I didn't want to be there. I ducked back into the woods and continued to my spot after about an hour. Let's jump to the... my first thought was, well, okay, here we go. Then it got quiet, real quiet, no birds, no bugs, nothing. That was when I saw it. About 30 yards east of me, something was in the trees. Looked at it, couldn't tell what it was. I raised my rifle, looked at it through the scope, my heart sank, and a cold chill ran down my back. The first thing I thought was, that's the predator or something from the abyss. It had a human shape, but looked like it was made of water. Glimmerman, folks, Glimmerman. Wow. Can you believe that? How's my audio doing? You guys hearing audio okay over there? All right. So, and then he texted after he saw this distorted, watery, man-looking figure in the trees. Texted his buddy, get over here now, stay quiet, out of sight. Our spots about 30 minutes apart, and about 45 minutes he showed up. By the time the thing had left, but later came back a couple of times and now was in a tree about 50 yards away. I said, what the F is that? So have you guys seen anything that looks like a Glimmerman? Of course, this story is hot off the presses from phantomsandmonsters.com, Pulse of the Paranormal. Everything that you want to do or see or come up against or find out, this is, without a doubt, Phantoms and Monsters is the place for all the repository of the weird. So, definitely go out there and look him up. Lon Strickler, I've been on his show, and he's been on my show. And pretty cool guy. Pretty cool guy. Well, let's see. Anyway, hey, Gene, what's going on? How's the audio? Is it sounding all right? Audio's perfect? Hey, thanks, Aaron. Glad to know there's one snafu for the folks that if you came over from the Paranormal Radio app, for whatever reason my connection did not sync up with that. I don't know what was going on with it, but I'll fix it later. Stimulate, what's going on? I haven't had this damn expedition for 2 weeks, and I'm about ready to put out a sign on it saying, "Still me, miss my truck." Okay. All right, so let's see. I got 3 Phantom Monster stories, but where I get all this stuff from is over on my Flipboard. It's an old news aggregate where you can post your own stories and see new junk that pops out. Yeah, Wes, Miss T and I watched your video over there. Here is an honest thing. Thaddeus, Wes, I didn't know I didn't subscribe to your channel until today. So you'll see my little name up there. Apologize for that. I thought I had already subscribed. But, folks, let's see. I was on Mogion Monsters live feed, not this last one, but the one before. Mogion Monster, let's see, Bigfoot and Anon, they all went to a place called Copper Hill, Tennessee for a Sasquatch round table kind of deal up there. And they said they had some interesting encounters during the night, weird cracks, and I think one guy named Joe had some rocks thrown at his top of his tent in the middle of the night. But that's in southeast Tennessee, not northeast, southeast Tennessee. What you guys drinking? I got medium dark. I think I've got, this is breakfast. Breakfast coffee from, breakfast blend from Walmart's place. Howdy, Sean. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear, buddy. So, yeah. For those folks that are listening to this after the fact, Stimulate, we've been praying for Stimulate's mama. I think, is her name Janice, I believe? I believe it was Janice. Yeah, Janice. Got my notes down here. I can't believe that actual part of my brain actually worked for memory. But definitely. Been praying for Janice. Keep praying for Janice and Stimulate's family as she recovers. And it's impressive how powerful our prayer is. Ice cold sweet tea. I thought I was going to have medium dark, but I got breakfast blend from Walmart's section, whatever the Walmart brand is. Walmart, I guess. Oh yeah, it's still warm. Good. Not cold. Iced tea. Nothing wrong with iced tea. Does it have a little something in it like a lemon or, let's see, cherry or whatever other foreign flavor to it? Lemon is probably, there's peach tea. I love peach tea. There's a place, fast food joint around here called Powell's, Sudden Service. And it's iconic for this region. And it looks like, if you look at it, it looks like a big hamburger, hot dog, and a milkshake and a fry sitting on top of a big blue building, box building that's set up for a drive-thru only. Fifth Horseman, Insanity. What's going on? But I was just rounding up what was going on in my news roundup. Try to get a news story in here or two. Let's see. Got Dark Herald, from Fizz Lure over on Flipboard. You can go down through here. I think they're about ready up in Canada. If what Miss T was telling me earlier today, I think they're about ready to elect a new prime minister. And I was going over how in the hell they elect prime ministers versus what they do here, where we directly vote for the president. But apparently they elect the party, and the party elects the prime minister within the party. So, let's see what else we got. Book burning in Ontario? Oh, that's kind of crazy. Let's flip over to the paranormal section. See what's going on over here. Let's see. Haunted by a ghost he can smell. Well, that's interesting. Paul O'Grady. Now, how many folks, just for instance, because this is something that I have come across, not often, but often enough to say, yeah, I've had it, and I've had it in this very house, where you smell somebody's aftershave, perfume, cigarette smoke, even tobacco, chewing tobacco. Red man chewing tobacco. You guys remember that? I've smelled that in this house, smelled cigarette smell, and nobody in here has smoked in this house in, let's see, oh God, when Granny passed away. Well, she stopped smoking about 1.5 years before she passed away. So it's been a few years, and I've smelled cigarette smell in here and kind of went, well, what the hell is that about? Have you guys come across that? Talking to the Dead with a Ouija Board is sort of scary show. Episode 2 from Matt Taylor and Ace B. King. Awesomeness TV. That's interesting. Limmerman, I just, that Idaho report, just went over that. From Lon Strickler's Phantom Monsters. Oh, that's cool, Wes. I've got a PlayStation upstairs. I think my sister left up here when she lived with me. I'll have to go look at that thing, see what's going on with it. One Man Band says, definitely still smell my grandmother's perfume. Well, let's see. What was my grandmother? It was a clean linen or something. I can't remember what it was. I forgot what she had an odd but very strong, sweet-smelling perfume. Every once in a while, I'll smell that. But usually I smell cigarette smoke, and I associate that with my grandma, and my late Uncle Russell. He always wore Stetson, I think. Was it Stetson or Brute, yeah. And chewed Red Man chewing tobacco. Every once in a while, I've had people in here say, I can smell Russell. I can smell his aftershave and that chewing tobacco. All right, hold on a second. We got Wes. Hold on just a second, Wes. Let me do a couple of quick things here and get you on here. Hey, Wes, what's going on, brother?
Not much, man. I was a couple of days ago, I got a hold of a game. It was a matter of installing the damn thing, but I got a hold of a pretty cool game. I think it's X-Men Origins Wolverine. Me and my cousin used to play it all the time, a few years ago when we first, re-met, I should say. And, it was a real cool game, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go and give it a shot. It works perfectly. Tried some of it last night.
Oh, really? That's cool. What was the name of it again?
X-Men Origins Wolverine. It's a pretty good game. It's old school. It came out in 2009.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was actually one of the few.
I was going to say, it's actually wire 3D mesh, like from, what's that? I can't remember the name of that actual engine. What's the engine that does the 3D mesh?
Oh, you'd ask me that.
Wire. Anyway.
It's actually pretty cool. Like I said, it's this is actually one of the few video game movie, basically one of the few movie-based video games that was actually better than the movie.
Well,
I love the game. The movie sucked.
Oh yeah. X-Men Origins, Wolverine Origins was okay. wasn't the best. It could have been done a whole lot better, but
it was very
versus what has come, what's coming out these days with
this of course, it looks like an Oscar material.
Yeah, SJW crap, and they always got to stick something in there having to do with melatonin in your skin.
Oh, check this out. They have something now. They have a comic out. I was looking at it. It's called, and nothing wrong with anyone's orientation or anything. We all have that secret self, but at the same time, there was one. It was called something. I can't remember the name of it. It was called something Lesbians. And I'm like, really? That was the name of the comic. I'm like, why? I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, but it's like back in the days, Marvel. One of my favorite characters who is openly gay. But they didn't basically make that all about it. He was actually still a cool character. Was North Star, Marvel Flight. I love that character. He's awesome.
All right.
But anyway, moving on from that. So what I was going to say, I released just recently a video on trolls. If you guys want to tune in on that, I'm also going to be. I'm going to start getting back to work on my projects. Unfortunately, my computer went down. Those who have been following me know this. But in probably about a week's time, it should be roughly, give it a few days, if, taking forward or off that, I should be able to get my stuff back and I'll be starting where I left off.
Oh, cool. I got an email from Stan Deo, And
Okay, what's the news
I
on
think
that?
he's going to be on my show, Saturday show, the 11th, on 9/11. Odd day to have that type of guest on there for a show, but I've got Stan Deo coming back the 11th. I think he had surgery and some kidney stone issues that
Yep,
night.
that's what you told me.
But I just got the email back. I just bounced back the email from him right before I went live on the show. And
Awesome.
hopefully we'll, make it out. It's either 11th or 18th. If I don't get the 11th, I'll get the 18th. But I think the 11th probably will be the spot I'm going to be taking for him.
Okay,
So
I also have some news on Dogman cams. I wanted to tell everyone who's listening in. Okay, John just came back home. Okay, I mean, of course, he's been cleaning up what he can here because of that freaking storm tearing up everything.
Oh yeah.
He is looking at a couple of people. I've sent a couple of people his way, and whether the rest is on him, but I mean, I'm just saying he's definitely looking at a couple of people. So, and he's going to be putting the pedal to the metal. So there should be. I can't say when. I mean, I'd be lying to say I know when, but soon. Hopefully, we'll be able to get that show back up and running. I'm very sorry on my end unfortunately, things just beyond everyone's control has kind of kept everything in the dirt on that one for right now.
Oh yeah. Right before you got on the phone with me, have you ever encountered a paranormal ghost from smelling something like a perfume, cigarette, cigar smell?
That's a good question. The answer is no. I have always I've had audio things. I'm not going to say hallucinations, but like there's been things that have set me off my senses. You're talking spidey sense. I've had things sent me off with my hearing, and of course my visual. I've seen some shit, but I have never. Let's leave it this. If I have, I can't recall. And that's actually a very good observation. It's just something I have never really had that I can remember it had happened. That's very interesting. I mean, I'm just saying, my sense of smell is horrifically poor. Anyway, I mean, believe me, if I'm smelling someone, you need to think on that because I can barely smell anything. It's always been, when I was younger, my sense of smell was real good, but as I got older, it got real bad. I mean, it's there, but I'm just saying, me really recognizing like a scent or anything, you'd have to be a real strong, as I'm trying to say. I don't really, I hear things, I can see.
Up in your face skunk level.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, believe me. If it's stinking, it's stinking.
Yep.
I have heard, this is before I had my breakdown, about maybe close to 13, 14 years ago-ish, I had an experience where there would be this scratching on my wall where I was living. I used to think it would be like a rat or something, but I later would find out it wasn't. It was something scratching. I've had something, still sometimes. I have an air conditioner. It's one of the old school window units. It's old, so of course the thing's going to cut off randomly because it's an old house, and of course things, trip the breaker, whatever the hell you call it. But here's what's so crazy. I have it happen a lot of times when I open the door and walk out. It just turns off. That ain't normal. That's what I'm saying. I have all kinds of weird visual, audio phenomenon that goes on. I've even been touched. Like I said, I've had my toe tapped. I sometimes feel something, like I said, I hear things, I feel things. I don't really smell anything. I damn sure see stuff.
Hey, Lakea's in the chat over there. Lakea, have you ever encountered something paranormal with olfactory sense or anything like that? I was just reading a headline about somebody being haunted by a smell. So just asking Lakea, see if she's got any input since she's the foremost
Definitely an authority on it.
Authority on that.
The only thing I smell is the cigar.
Yeah, that was a big ass cigar you had in that video. What kind of cigar was that, buddy?
Oh, hell, you'd asked me. It was like a habanito or something. There's two stores. They're convenience stores that sell them around here. And I pretty much just figured, you know what, I may as well go ahead and try them places. There's other places. Walgreens actually sells a bunch of the cheaper ones. They still give you the rush that, I like. They're not great, but they're not bad. Your best bet for a big fat one like that is a convenience store or maybe a head shop. But even then, actually head shops don't sell them too much. Mainly convenience stores, which is weird, but There you go. But of course, I also live in Little Mexico, so that can kind of really, my point is, that kind of opens up an entire opportunity of stuff you'll find around here.
Hmm. Well, heck, I never did smoke. I can honestly tell you, I never did smoke. Ever.
I wouldn't advise to start. It's not a good habit. I wouldn't ask. I mean, I've been doing it for roughly off and on for the last going on 20 years. It's not a good habit. It's an expensive habit. I'll tell you that right now. It's expensive as hell. I wouldn't advise it on anybody.
Oh, eating's getting to be an expensive habit for me. So, wow.
I hate to say this, Bub, but I think that's that's another thing that concerns me. I'm not trying to be a doomsdayer, and I'm very careful about bringing this stuff up for obvious reasons. Cough, demonetization, cough. But moving on from that, it does concern me, the shortages that are going down right now.
I have seen quite a bit of shortages. One of the folks that I watch on a regular basis, Marfugel TV, Marfugel News, he had a little thing out about the China and outlined, within 2 years we might be at war with China. They quit. They made it almost impossible to be taught English over there.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what's really crazy is another thing to think about is there's a channel I watch. I would recommend this guy to anybody. He speaks with, actually two of them. One is a common sense show with a guy named Dave Hodges. He speaks with compassion, and he actually is, like I said, he's not judgmental. He doesn't really have any leaning towards anything. He just believes in God. And he is a very compassionate man. He speaks on different things. His show is called The Common Sense Show. The other one, which I really listen to, is a dude named Brad. Again, he's a guy who has an open mind, a decent heart. He goes by Brad, and the man, what's the name of the show? Full Spectrum Survival or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is who I also
know that one. I've heard the other one, but I don't believe I know that one.
Full Spectrum Survival. He's a survivalist. The man is very, believe me, this is just, I'm just recommending him of my own choice. I'm not being, you know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, there's no kickback on this one. But I think that basically I would definitely recommend anyone who's listening in to check him out. Some of this stuff can be a little bit, if you're scared or you're feeling vulnerable, don't watch it. But if you're feeling strong and your spirit is strong, pay attention, because I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of stuff going on with, I want to say the metals. There's a lot of stuff going on with metals right now, like copper, aluminum, things like that. There's a lot of different places. It's real hard to manufacture right now. The prices are going up. So expect a real hike in canned goods, things like that over the next few weeks.
Okay. Well, you never know about what's going on in today's retail. There's always something. We had that shutdown of the butchering, the big butcher businesses.
Yes. Those meat, you're talking about those meat, you're talking about basically big butcher plants, meat processing market.
Yeah.
All that
Over
stuff.
ransomware or some crap like that. I'm not exactly sure how much was true and how much was false, or if it was a false flag.
That's a matter of debates.
Oh, yeah. Who knows? But it's
fascinating.
A false flag? I honestly think it might have been. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And here's something else to think about. And it's not anything, but bear with me, brain them out there. There's so much up in this head of mine. What I was going to say is it's not just that, but also it's almost like the weather. Think about that. The weather has been so crazy as of late. Also, like everything drying up. I've noticed drought like you wouldn't believe. Here in Texas, too.
Even after the rain that's hit the Gulf Coast?
Not so much now, but for a while it was bad. It's gotten better now. But I'm just letting you know, even then, you still have some problems. Especially, I've noticed up north, you really have problems. Like I think in California is going through a real drought right now. I think a lot of places like the big lakes, Great Lakes, they're going dry. You have all kinds of problems up there, too. Down here is mainly just hot. This heat will dry up anything. But yeah, there's been a very good, strong bit of weather down here lately. But during the beginning of the summer, it was bad. Real bad.
That's wild. Well, I don't know what's going to happen. They say, I think if anything that comes out of Biden's mouth, now this is just me because I'm not a big Biden fan. This is all, everything that's happening in today's world is Climate change. Well, okay.
I'll tell you another thing is I was not, those who know me, and I'm no secret, I don't make no secret about this. I was not a big, you already know, I was not a big Rump fan either. But in the end, I'll tell you right now, he looks like a freaking saint compared to the nightmare we're dealing with now. Leave it at that. I would choose him.
I was a fairly good. I didn't believe everything come out of Trump's mouth, but was I on his side? Sure. I wasn't 100% him. But,
oh yeah, definitely. Compared to the horror show we're seeing now, yes sir.
Oh yeah. Well, you can look at it right now. If you wanted somebody in there to, one, increase the amount per gallon of gas, oil, barrel oil, you got the man in there. And our dollar, a fiat dollar, is oil based, oil backed.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of treachery going on in the background to try to knock this off. The U.S. dollar as the main.
I've noticed this. This.
I think China's trying to jump in there and do whatever digital, whatever gold back stuff.
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to China, a lot of people can say this or that. Yes, the thing is, there was a movie I saw years ago, and it's something to think about. This old man was talking to the main protagonist. It was a movie called Fear City. This old man was talking. He was an old mafioso dude. He was talking to the main character who was angry and wanted revenge for his best friend being nearly killed. He was saying, this guy is your enemy. You study him, you savor him, you respect him. China is pretty much, they seem to be wanting to be our enemy. And the thing is, when you study and you observe someone who is an enemy country or anything, I'm not saying they are. Please don't think I'm not trying to do anything like that. What I'm saying is, if they are, you have to understand and try to see through their eyes. And the thing is, what does a superpower do when there's another superpower that they're trying to compete with? They try to undermine. I mean, it's common sense. It's human beings being human,
True enough. True enough.
No more, no less. I mean, it's just that simple. I'm not going to tie you up, man. I just wanted to kind of put a few things out there. And if you guys want to talk and call in, man, please do. I mean, trust me. I'll even shine my scalp for you. Okay, I'm lying about that, but that's beside the point.
Get the buffer out, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. All right, man. I will talk to you later, sir.
All right. Appreciate you, brother. Have a good one. All right. West Vic, Thaddeus Craig. Definitely go over to Thaddeus Craig over on YouTube. He just put out a new video. Miss T and I watched earlier before I got on the horn here. Scott says China wants to rule the world. I believe that is definitely in the works. They're vying for the #1 spot. I think they have the largest army. They just, I think they've got the largest naval vessels, the largest amount of naval vessels on the planet right now. And I think maybe largest army. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, folks, let's get back to what we do best to talk about the supernatural paranormal. Chasing the Truth does not just cover what I usually cover, but it does cover anything that has to do with truth. And definitely, this is Unscreened Open Lines on the Chasing Truth channel, Dark Waters Radio, which unfortunately my connection over to the Paranormal Radio app had a little hinkle right before I went on, unfortunately. But you can find all of my shows over there. I think Wes is diligently putting my shows on rotation over there. When I go live, hopefully next Saturday night with Stan Deo, we'll be live over there. I'll get all that crap fixed up with it. I don't know why it did not want to work tonight, but anyway, that's the fun part of being live, going live and figuring out, hey, I got a monkey in a wrench. A monkey wrench in the works tonight. That's a monkey. Anyway, my coffee hasn't worked out too good tonight, but there is a Bigfoot video which I played from NVTV over on Saturday night show over on the Dark Waters channel, and about a day or two after Third Phase Moon actually played and went over the same video. 2 days after I played it on mine, but NVTV actually had the video up first. And just, I think I'm going to play it on here. I think. Yeah, why not? Why not? Anyway, let's post this over here. I'm not going to have the sound on, but there you go. That's what this Bigfoot thing, or whatever you want to call it. I'm still on the fence about this thing. The thing of it is you got to factor in one, the ratios, the arm, body, head, and leg ratios, and what's going on with it. But here we go. Well, I'll play this real quick and see how it looks, and have open discussion about what's going on here. I think the arms are too short. I think the legs are too short, and the angle of how it walks, the gait, is too much like a human versus something like Patty, the Patterson film. It's not been over this. This actually looks like a big giant man in a costume to me. That looks like a feral human, Del P says. It could be. Honestly, it could be. It looks like a guy that is definitely picked up a couple pounds of iron before. Razor Wolf Buddy, welcome aboard, my man. Wow, what time is it over there in Australia land? Holy cow. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Razor Wolf's in the house. But this thing, this whatever in Idaho, I believe it's from Idaho. If you want to see the full length thing, it's a massive Idaho Bigfoot on video. NVTV's got this, and a bunch of other places got it as well. Has been showing this stuff, but NVTV was the first to actually post it, to my knowledge. And that's where I'm getting this from. This is actually, let's see, I got this from BroBible. .com, BroBible, BroBible, expert new Bigfoot sighting caught on video in Idaho, unlikely to be a hoax. Well, I got my, I'm still on the fence. Looks like he's got boots on. Let me go back over there and see that. It looks like he's got boots on. Let me look at this thing. Boots, boots, boots. Snake boots, maybe? Yeah, sort of, kind of. Sort of does look like it, but the angle of the back, the angle of the walk, the gait of the walk, the legs are too straight. When if you look at other videos and they break down the gait of a Bigfoot, the legs in a human are straight, way more straighter as they walk than a Bigfoot walks, comparative to like the Patterson Bigfoot. But definitely this thing, gotta factor in, one, is this where they say this is out in the middle of the wild, out in the middle of nowhere? Why would somebody put on a big ass costume in the middle of the woods where, more than likely, if it's in the middle of nowhere, there might be a rifle or two in somebody's hands out there hunting. It's 9:32 hours here, 9 in the morning. Wow, there you go. Glad to see you up and about, buddy. Jean Paul, salute, brother. What's going on over there? Christina, what's up? But like I said, this is from NVTV. I'm going to pause this rascal right here. Let's see. Is it pause? No, it's not pause. It's still going. Pause. There we go. Massive Idaho Bigfoot on video. And the BroBible article on this comes up, good news. Bigfoot hunters' nude footage has emerged online. Bipedal, hairy creature too large to be a human being. But there's nothing in that shot there that you could compare size to. This could be a 5'2" male, female, muscular, or whatever, in a costume. There's nothing there to gauge how tall or how massive this thing is. There's nothing else there. Nobody, from my knowledge, nobody's went back and said, hey, we found this a day later after this. But, for example, let's see. Several viewers have been saying the quality of this Bigfoot video is even better than the legendary Patterson Gremlin film. Well, yeah, of course, this is back in the 8mm days back then. Super 8s. This, I don't know what they took this on, but for example, Paul Seaburn in Mysterious Universe writes, whatever this is, it's big. Big head, big butt, big body, thick legs, long arms, you name it. That would have been a pretty large human to be a person inside that costume. And along with those lines of human in this costume, its wardrobe assistant managed to find one with a pretty snug fit. You don't see Bigfoot impersonators in costumes that's realistic. Which, yeah, I guess you could say that. Like I said, I'm on the fence about this thing. I don't know if this is real or Memorex or whatever, but the gate's all wrong for me. But you got to factor in why, if this location is out in the middle of nowhere, why would somebody don a big, hulking, massive costume and put it on in the middle of somewhere where other people have potential places to inject lead into you? Miles, you're not that late. We just started. Hold on just a second. How long ago did we start this stream? We started this stream 46 minutes and 11 seconds. So you're just fine. You're right in the middle of the sweet spot where people start calling in. And we just got off the phone with Wes Thaddeus Cray and talked about his troll video he's got over there on his website. And actually, I've been looking to see if one of the folks, like from Moyan Monster or Bigfoot Anon, would call in and tell us about their big Sasquatch deal that they had over the weekend with down there in Copper Hill, Tennessee. I watched, Miss T and I watched a video with Bigfoot Anon from Copper Hill, Tennessee, where he did a little scouting with his backpack GoPro. JD says, yes, staged. Bigfoot kidnapped a woman and had this dude. Well, I guess there's stranger things than that possible. But yeah, I'm on my official position on this video is I'm on the fence. I can, lean toward this is a guy in a suit real easy, but I can also, put two and two together. Why in the hell would you put on a freaking suit in the middle of nowhere? In the middle of woods, if this is out in the middle of woods. Now, I've got spots, I know of spots around here that looks really secluded, like at my mom's place. She lives right in, her property line is right on the forest line. Right over her fence is National Forest, and it is thick forest within about 30 feet from her back door. Could you stage something like that? Sure. Definitely could stage something like that. The gate's all wrong on this guy, or whatever this thing is. He doesn't move like the Patterson film. Legs are too stretched. They usually walk over in a hunched posture. Definitely. Zawickle, what's going on? But if you got an opinion on this, give me a call, 931-994-6917. And let me know if you got an opinion on this particular sighting here. I'd love to hear it. But, oh yeah, let's see. Who else is Andy Hobo? What's going on? And Zwickle, I just said howdy too. Who else is in here? Bigfoot, kidnapped. I already read that one. But have you ever heard of Bigfoot? I know Del P has. He's definitely had some Bigfoot, big feet. Watching him
Here's
as he's.
something I found on the web.
Hold on just a second. Sorry about that. I had to yell at my digital assistant in the background there. I'm going to have to turn that frickin' thing off. I forgot to hit the mute thing. Nice to have, but it's awkward sometimes, especially if you forget to hit the mute on the digital assistant. Let's see. The calf muscles on it are crazy. That's the first thing I noticed. Well, this thing is definitely built. Hold on just a second. Let me pop that back up. Windows. There we go. Thing is definitely built, no doubt about it. Whatever is in that costume, if it is a costume, has done a whole lot of work out. Now, there's nothing in this video, nothing at all in this video that yells at me, hey, I know how big that is in the ground there. Let me make sure this thing is all the way up to max. Oh, right here, 1080. We'll do that. And let's go here. There's nothing in this video, like I said, to gauge how big this thing is. You know, you got some, you know, like a year-old trees, maybe year-and-a-half-old trees that this thing's standing in front of. Maybe for perspective, it makes it look large, but there's nothing there that I can tell that, you know, jumps out and says, hey, I know how big that thing is. There's nothing there to judge size, period. Bad to the bone, born to be wild. Well, it's definitely got a pronounced arched brow. I can see in some of it. It's definitely got a lot of pectoral muscles. The arms looks huge for right here. Let's go over here and hit this. Well, hit pause there, buddy. Pause means pause. And this thing is still going, I think. Yeah, nope, yeah. Aha, there we go. Let me get it decent. There we go. Aha. Let's see if I can get this just a little forward so we can see how big the arms are. Well, I guess that's all right. Again, look for this over on NVTV. See the entirety of what they presented. But, bad SOB. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Oh, yeah, I forgot. That's it. You in a costume. Well, how tall are you, buddy? Are you 6'4" or 5'2"? Because there's nothing there to judge how tall you are in that costume. No, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I'm definitely, does it have some thick ass arms? Yeah, it does. Got some big ass cheeks on it. But I don't know. I'm right there on 50-50. I'm going to say about 48, 52. 48 being it real and 52 being it a hoax. But, you know, just gauging it by this video, if I had to bet on it, I would bet no. It's a hoax. But that's just till I see more evidence of, hey, I caught another angle, or we went back and caught this and judged how big this was. You know how people will go in and say, hey, I'm 5 foot whatever, I'm standing next to this tree, this Bigfoot will walk by. That's not in this video, though. So, hard to tell. Folks, if you wanted to join in, this is Unscreened Open Lines. And if you want to hear me talk for another hour or so, you know, don't call in. But I love to hear you talk. Again, update announcement. Stan Deo, he was supposed to be on my show over on the Dark Waters channel 2 shows ago, I believe. Yeah. And he had medical issues going on, and he's probably going to be on this Saturday. StanDeo.com. And definitely be there or be square. If that's even a saying. Is that still a saying? Be there or be square? Yeah, it is what it is. But wow, that's all I can tell you, folks. There's some strange stuff in this world, supernatural. Last Saturday night, we had about 3 callers that really just floored me. We had one that had a UFO with a square / triangle UFO that they saw when they were a kid. Then we had 2 others. One was a Bigfoot in North Carolina. The other one was a Dogman encounter. Ongoing Dogman encounters down in Alabama on the Florida-Alabama line. Oh, here we go. We got a caller. All right, unscreened caller. This is Chasing the Truth. Who I got on, and where are you from?
This is Edward. I was giving you a call back.
Hey, Edward, what's going on? How's everything going since your flashlight, flashed whatever missing time event?
Yeah, so far pretty good. And all, but I was just listening to your show, and someone told me today that you said wanted me to call in and talk to you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So has anything changed, or have you noticed anything about yourself that, some of the encounters, like if this was truly a UFO, I don't know. You didn't really you kind of speculated it might have been a UFO.
Yeah.
Some of them have
I don't know. I've checked my body from one to the other. There's nothing different about it. And, I've even checked with the doctor, because my father had dementia.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe that, and she said, I have no signs of dementia anywhere as of right now.
Well, there you go.
So, yeah, that's real good from hear that. But everything seems to check out. I haven't seen any more or nothing else happened to me like that.
Right.
I still can't explain it. All I know is I was there, and then I was there, and then I was home when I drove home, and the distance on the car.
So were you able to sleep after you got home? I know you were going back home as soon as this occurred late at night. Were you able to sleep, or were you up all night?
I was up all night. I had trouble sleeping for about a couple of weeks. Getting up and down all night. Of course, I have back problems too, but I couldn't get to sleep. I just wondered, and I even went and drove back to where that was. I had gone there twice, looking around, seeing if there's anything that could have been, that drawed me there for something or put me there. And I can't explain it yet.
Yeah. Well, Edward, could I trouble you to tell us this story again, since there's a few people that's on this live stream that has never heard it before?
Yeah, well, I got up and I was wanting some chicken nuggets. I hadn't eaten nothing all day. And I thought I'd better eat something, maybe settle my stomach. And I got a ginger ale, and I filled my car up full of gas. I drove to High Point because Thomasville at that time was being remodeled. The McDonald's down here, they were doing the inside. You can't even sit in there, but they were doing the inside.
Mm-hmm.
But I drove over there. I was on South Main Street. I got chicken nuggets, and I was going up through there, like heading towards Archdale. I made a turn right there at the light on the Fairfield, back towards like you're going back towards Thomas Busson. I was in the lane closest over here, and I seen a man walking right after I passed the wing team, and so I moved over to the middle lane, and I was looking over that way because I know pretty soon I'd be seeing Thomas Busson. I always look at the buses for some reason, and I went around there and seen the buses, and I glanced down at the speedometer, and the next thing you know, I was 20 miles away, and I was still moving. But I do not know how I got there or why. All I remember is a flash of blue light. Okay. After I seen that man walking, and I moved over to the center lane, and I seen the bus, and next thing a light, and then I was 20 miles away, and the gas can only showed I always, when I fill it up, I always switch it to where you can see how far you go during the week on trips and stuff. I switch it over to that, and I hold it till it goes to blank when I fill the gas up. It had, it had like 2.5 miles from where I come from Thomasville over to South Main. I took and from where I was at that point when that light flashed, and the next thing I know, I drove back. It was 20 miles, so say 22 point some miles to where I got back to Thomasville, when I pulled into my driveway. And I still can't explain it. I don't know what happened. All I know is I seen a blue light and that man. Well, a man and then a blue light. And I still don't know what in the world's going on from that point.
Well, we went over all kinds of questions to say, hey, were you drinking and driving? Were you taking any medications that would make you...
the only time I ever known I took a drink of anything is I was working out with a friend lifting weights, and I went up, we come up from the basement, and that was like 40 years ago, and I didn't know it, and he asked me what I wanted to drink. I said, you got any Coca-Cola or any water? And he said, I got orange juice. And so he brought that in there, and his girl or his wife had put something in it, and it burnt my stomach so bad, and I never went back to the house. So I figured I know what it was. They put something in it, and I figured it was liquor or something, because it smelled like my grandpa did after after he was a town drunk. So I remember how he smelled, because he gave me haircuts. So I should have turned it up. I should have smelled it first, but I was so thirsty, I just turned it up and drank it, and it was burning all the way down. So I knew I'd drunk something. So that's the only time I ever had anything.
Yeah, this wasn't the night that this flash.
No,
flash
that's
happened.
like 40. Yeah, it's like 40 years ago. As I was still
I think
dating
you
my
recovered
wife.
from that.
Yeah, well, I was dating my wife at that time. Matter of fact, I just asked her to marry me at that time. Well, I've been married 30-some years. We had a long engagement.
Oh, yeah. So when you woke up still driving 20 miles down the road, and there was 2 hours missing between instantly when you saw that blue light flashing after you passed this guy and moved to the center lane.
Yeah, and I can't explain how that happened, because, like I said, it was 11:45 and about 1:45, something like that. You know, it was something getting towards 2 o'clock when next thing I remember. I remember it because I keep my phone's on usually, and I'm listening to something on it. Most of the time, my daughter says I'm addicted to it now. She might be right. But I maybe listening to the Beach Boys on my radio or phone. No, but that's the only thing. 2 hours difference. I can't explain it, and I don't know where it was at, and I don't know what happened in that 2 hours. And there's no dents on my car or nothing, you know, or like, you know, I could have hit nothing or passed out or anything like that. There's nothing on the front of it. It's just, there's nothing nowhere.
Well, obviously you traveled 20 miles, and, you know, you have no recollection how you transversed that 20 miles instantly.
I can't figure out how in the world I got to that point, to the 20 miles, and, you know, I know how to get back, because if I hadn't been with my daughter showing me how to, all I have to do is hit that map thing and hit Google and just save the address, and it'll show, you know, it'll tell me how to get back.
Now, there's one thing that you might be able to do, or have your daughter or granddaughter or whoever look at your phone. Some of these phones will map you, no matter if you're actively wanting you to map it or not.
Okay, I'll have her to look at it, because my son-in-law's real good at them. I mean, he can do things to a computer. He built his own computer when he was about 14 years old.
Yep.
Out of stuff people threw away, you know, from the school and around. He built a computer, and he still uses it to this day. He just adds more stuff to it. He's just real smart that way. He's the most forgetful person I've ever seen in my life. He can walk out and lose his car keys and have them in his hand. And still lose them in his hand. But he's smart like that, because he's a diesel mechanic. He's just naturally talented that way. But, whew.
Have you had any strange dreams, or anybody come up to you and say, hey, I heard you telling this story, or anybody in black, dressed up in black, men in black come and visit you or anything?
No, the only thing I seen is a car following me for a couple of days. It was a big old, what do you call it? I drive a Dodge Durango 2000. This is like a brand new car, and it was like several days I kept seeing it, because I'm very leery because I carry my grandyoungins a lot, and I know how people try to kidnap. So I keep a close eye out, and I noticed that car just kept on following me. And
so it was like a Chevy Suburban or something like that, something big like that, SUV?
Big old, you know what them guys that you see when they're doing the president?
Oh, yeah.
That's the kind of car it was. It was a big car like that.
Blacked out windows?
And uh-huh. I couldn't see who was inside, but I would just go down the road and I would catch a glimpse of it, and like it might be 2 car lengths behind, and all of a sudden when them cars turn off, it was, I would just keep going, and like I'd just sometimes turn around and I come in behind it a couple of times, but I couldn't see no tag on it. It was, I couldn't get close enough to see the tag when I come up on it. I was coming up, and all of a sudden it just burned off somewhere, and I wouldn't know where it would go. But I've tried to, and then after that it just stopped. I ain't seen that big car since.
So how long did you notice these things, this big suburban-like SUV?
About a week and a half. At first I thought it was just my imagination, but then all of a sudden I seen it, and I just, like I said, that one day I just got enough of it. I dropped my grandkids off at church. I got enough of it, and I was going towards Walmart, and I just turned around and just went real quick around. I noticed the street just turns around like up here on Liberty Drive. You can cut through and come right behind. So that's what I done. I shot around, and Mom caught and come up, and then that's when he went off, and then like by the time I got up there, it was gone. But it started moving fast. It's a lot faster than my old Dodge. Yeah, my Dodge got some get up and go, but it didn't have no get up like that thing had.
Oh yeah.
I was going to try to ask them, and I'm an old Southern dude. I got a 45 at my feet, and you name it, I can get to it. Because, like I said, I got grandchildren. The way things are nowadays, I just don't want to take the chance. All
right. Well, you're just like any other Southern person in this general area, North Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee. You automatically assume they've got something that can throw lead downrange. So,
because I'm not going to be where I can't protect my grandbabies.
Absolutely, I don't fault you for that at all. I would be suspect of you if you didn't have something like that.
Yeah, I got 4 grandbabies I try to look after. So.
Did you hear any other reports that something strange happened about that time or in the weeks after?
The only thing is a friend of mine told me that he seen some lights over High Point, and when he was driving this 18-wheeler, he was headed out to California, which I think is his last trip. He's doing something else. He's just getting too crazy out there.
All right.
Out that way.
Edward, where did this blue light hit you? What town was it in?
It's in High Point.
High Point, and then you wound up 20 miles down the road?
Next thing I know, I was 20 miles down the road. And I was doing 45 down through there. Because it goes from 40 to 45, from 35 to 45, then it drops down to 40, and then it goes back to 45. And I was at the point, it's still at 45, around that curve.
Right.
Right there, as you sit around it, you see Thomas Bussin on your, it'd be on your left as I was going. And of course, Thomas Bussin's all over that side in the town. It's right, left, you name it, there's a bus sitting somewhere. They got almost every building on them streets. It's a big old place, complex.
Right. So is there any, has anybody else complained about or mentioned seeing any kind of weird UFO lights or anything like that in the last little bit?
Besides my friend, and he was going out, matter of fact, the same night I had that experience, he was going out, that's where he was headed, was California. When he seen that light, he said a light in the sky, that's all he said. He said it looked unusual because he was just sitting in a truck where he's got the type where, he pulls up, they load the truck, he works, I think, part of it for government, they load it, he don't know what's on it, he just has to take it. And when he gets there, he drops it off, and they load another one, and he brings it back. And that's all he does for a living. But that's the only one that I've talked to, and I've known him, 30 or 40 years, too. His name's Chuck. And he's been a friend of mine for years.
Yeah. Has your family or your friends noticed anything different about you since this occurrence happened?
No, I have been a little bit shorter tempered. I don't know why. I think I just got a little jumpy. You know, I look over my shoulder more here lately. You know, just in case. I guess I'm leery. I don't like nobody having no control over me or something like that happen, and I don't know what happened. No, I can't figure it out, and I've tried to figure it out. Now, I'm not that educated, so I'm just a Southern boy at work all his life, and I've never had the only kind of skill I got is working with lumber and stuff and putting frames and also springing up furniture. That's what I've done for a living, shipping stuff all over the country. I did ship stuff all in the where I worked at last, I was over the shipping department. I've shipped stuff to Mumbai, to Canada, to England, to India. There's a furniture place, and I was a shipping clerk.
North Carolina has a lot of furniture building stuff over there.
Yeah. And a lot of it's gone now. A lot more of it's moved down to around Birmingham and in Tennessee. Got a lot of it, but a lot of it went over to China. But Trump was bringing it back, and it seemed like it's a pretty good boost around here. But there's a lot of the older people, and I know, just dying out, and the skills they need to, I guess, train a new group of them. No.
Yeah, the economy has definitely taken a hit. You know, you just have to look at the price of gas and figure that out.
Yeah, I just believe that myself. Also, I was looking at that thing you think might be a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing Jeff's show, Jeff
Nataloni.
I can't pronounce it. And he said that Victor guy said that the werewolf had straight legs like a man, and I was just wondering if that could have caught one of those, and they thought it was a Bigfoot.
Well, I wish the thing was a little bit better, you know, had a better quality about it, but you get what you get when it comes to these paranormal supernatural videos and pictures. You know, you can't sit there and say, well, I wish they had a 4K or 8K camera right there. Well, hell, nobody's got that in their back pocket. At worst, you probably got a standard definition camera in your pocket. Maybe. That's if you remember. Yeah, unless you got a scope or something on it. Maybe. Yeah. And that's, you know, that's if you can remember to take it out. Usually people are so awestruck or, you know, disarmed by seeing something that, you know, well, what the hell did I just see?
Yeah, I know.
Crap, I had my camera in my pocket. But
and that adrenaline kicks in. You get a little bit shaky and a little scared and everything else.
Oh yeah.
No.
But Edward, I've been highlighting your story on a couple of shows that I've done in the past, and you have just left me awestruck. How all this stuff happens. You know, my late father had a couple of missing time episodes, but you have such great detail in yours, and you know the questioning and stuff. You kind of everything ticks off that this was absolutely a real event in your life.
Yeah, well, I can't explain it, and I wish I could. And like I said, I'm very suspicious of stuff, and they noticed my temper's been. I don't like not having a control or. Well, not control, but, you know, I don't like not being able to know what, like, something happened to me, and I don't know, and it was the whole car. That's why I can't figure out how they get my car there unless it picked it up and took it. And the only thing I know that could do that if it was like a Chinook helicopter or something, and I would have known that probably if I was awake, but it was just a split second. I seen the light, and the next thing I know, I was there in my car, and I was still going. And then I looked around, and I didn't see the buses, and I looked over, and I just pulled over, and all I seen was brick buildings around where it was at. And that shocked me so fast. And when I was sitting there, and at the phone, and I looked at my thing, and I just couldn't believe, and it had 2-point-some miles on it, and by the time I drove back, it was 22-point-something miles. I can't remember that last point, what that was, and all. I'm on a fixed income, so I got to keep up with how I drive and how much stuff I use.
Oh yeah, that's a give me. That's a give me. Anytime you got a fixed income, you gotta know where every penny goes.
Yeah, and that's what I look at. And like I said, I try to help with the grandbabies too, and that's kind of a rough thing to do nowadays.
Oh yeah, that's unfortunate, but that's life. And thank you, Edward. I appreciate you sharing the story and calling back in. Have you run into anybody that said, Edward, I don't believe you, or has everybody come across saying, oh my God, this happened to you?
No, nobody's. Mom got every time person I've talked to is like someone at the church, and most of the ones that like Mom called me, they know me for like 20 and 30 years. I don't like a liar. I can't stand it, and I don't like a thief and a liar. That's the two things I can't stand in my life. The God, I don't know. That's something. That's just one of those things. I just can't stand that. But every last one of them, he said, I believe you. One of the guys I talked to at church, and he said it's a strange thing that happened in his life, and it's kind of weird, call it, but I don't know if he'd come on and tell it, call it. He's kind of an old-timey, strict, call it man. He's about 80-some years and all. But
this type of show may not be to his liking then, if he's in that age bracket. Yeah, I know. He's probably more he likes watching. He started showing He All again. Yeah. One of the off shows, and he watches that every day. And Gunsmoke and him, that's his cup of tea. Now, if you have to talk about John Wayne, you got somebody to talk to. John Wayne, buddy. Gunsmoke, I've watched every Gunsmoke show at least once or twice, twice, if not more. I was a rideshare hostage while I was recouping from my amputation, and my grandmother, she loved anything that had to do with westerns, and Gunsmoke was one of them. That was my grandma. She loved it. My grandpa loved it. I grew up on Saturday morning westerns and Sunday morning westerns and Saturday morning cartoons. Yep. And all. But my grandpa, he was something else too. He loved westerns. And wrestling. He had to watch his wrestling and all. But he was unusual. He told me about a story when he was 13, up in the mountains. He was sitting there on the porch, and one of his great cousins, he was celebrating his 113th birthday. And he got out there, and he got talking to him, and my grandpa was 13 years old, and he was talking to him, and he was in the Civil War, and he was telling him about all the battles and things that he went through and stuff. And I thought that was pretty interesting. He talked a lot about that, and my grandpa did things that happen around, here in the South and stuff. But he actually met one of our ancestors that fought in the war. So, he was telling about some things that happened, and he said something about he called him mountain beast. I think that's what he said it was. He was telling me that it was about 150 of them rode down from our family and joined the military, and only 30 of them made it back. Well, when he was coming back up to go back home, they had camped in one of them hollers down in the mountains of North Carolina, and he said they got to hearing something holler, and he was telling me about. He said, and next thing he knew, he said they had planted scouts on
want to do that after, and they took off and hid down around the hollows and stuff. And he said, next thing you know, that sentry was shooting at something, and it run plumb through their camp. But he called it a monster or a man beast or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it tore right through their camp. And he was telling me that. And he said his cousin was, my cousin and his cousin was telling him that when he was 13 years old. And, but some of the stuff in the world, my grandpa told me, he said some of the stuff, he said he'd just take it to his grave, but he said he was, some of the stuff he said about the war and stuff during the Civil War, he said that was some crazy stuff. But he said my cousin would never talk about some of that stuff. Because he said they did some crazy things.
Yeah, that, of course, of course. Well,
yeah. But this stuff that happened to me, I still can't explain it. And like I said, I still look around, and every time I go out somewhere, I keep an eye out. And you know, you ever been somewhere and you just got a feeling someone's looking at you?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, that's how I feel. Feel like somebody's looking at me, and I turn around and I'll walk and I'll just look, and I don't see nobody, but I can feel like there's somebody watching. I might just be paranoid. I don't know. But
well, being paranoid and being healthy paranoid is two different things. You know,
yeah,
you got to be a little paranoid these days and age. Definitely.
I know, especially nowadays.
Let me ask you about that blue light that flashed you. What color blue light was it? Can you compare it to something?
It's like let's see, I can't think. It'd be like a dark blue.
Like
real dark.
Off of a sheriff's car or ambulance or something?
No, it would be like, let's see, how would you put it? You seen the sky blue? Like you seen a real dark blue, like it's going to a navy blue.
Mm-hmm.
It's somewhere in between there, right before it gets to that navy blue is right there. It's like the pattern, like it went like that. It was so quick, and all. It was like, and that's the way it sounded. You know, my eyes felt like it just hit me. And next thing I know, I looked around and there was the buildings. And I don't know what happened in that length of time.
How long was the length of time again that you had the missing time?
From about 11:45 to about 1 something, close to 2. So it was that length of time.
Around 2 hours missing time.
Yeah, somewhere around in there. Because, like I said, I was doing 45 around that curve when I looked up and looked over and seen the buses, and all of a sudden I seen the light because I just passed that man to move over. I don't like being close to anybody when they're walking at night like that. Getting creepy again tonight.
Oh, well, I appreciate you calling in. If your voice is failing you, I appreciate you just calling in and sharing, allowing me to, get that story out again and having the ability to ask you a handful of questions. But I believe that something occurred that you can't explain. I can't explain it.
I can't explain it.
Yeah, so I can superimpose, hey, did a UFO flash you? And then something, kind of abduct you?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. That's just me kind of shoot from the hip.
All I seen was the light and then the time. And I can't explain the time differences and the distance it took to drive back, At that point, like where I filled up with gas, went over and got the chicken nuggets and that, I could not explain it to myself. And that's what's driving me buggy. And the time length after I passed that man in that light.
Unless you got a hold of a bad. Did you eat the chicken nuggets before you took off on the road? Or?
No, I was going to take them home and eat them. They actually were just sitting there. I fed them to the dog, our little bitty dog, a little rat terrier. I wound up feeding them to him. I didn't get to eat.
Oh, my.
Because I just laid them there, and I usually was going to drive home and just park in the driveway and eat them. And, but I didn't, they just stayed there. I just laid back and was, up and down, got out, went to the bathroom, come back out, and I sat down on the swing outside. and just swung and just kept trying things over in my mind. You know, when my mind gets racing, I just can't sleep and all. So I can't explain it. I don't know what happened, and like the people I talk to, is, you know, a lot of, well, they believe like me, you know, they believe a lot of this stuff, you know, that's going on now that we think more like it's to do with the Bible at the end times, what we're thinking. But, you know, all we can do is hope and pray that, you know, God will come and get us. Jesus comes back.
Just stay in the good graces of God is what I say, you know.
Yeah.
Keep yourself prepared, and, you know, God will keep you back. So.
Yeah, you just pray to Him and talk to Him every day. You know, let you know what's going on.
Right. Well, Edward, I appreciate you calling in, brother. I cannot, I can believe it, but it is just one of those stories that is such a head scratcher to me.
I know, and it's made me scratch a lot.
I dare say I can't. How the days after that, you called in about, it wasn't even 24 hours after this event happened. You literally called in the next evening after this happened. The days after, did you feel funny or anything strange happen, or just what?
I felt on the edge, but like I said, I didn't sleep much. But and like I said, then I got to noticing that car a couple of days after that. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't figure it out. And like I said, I don't like nobody following me. And I live in Thomasville. It's a small town, you know, and most of the people I know around here. And there's a lot of people that's moved into it. You know, it's new, but mostly the old friends and stuff, they're still around. And what's still alive. But we all know each other, and we talk. And like I said, we just tell it like it is. We don't, you know, hold nothing back most of the time. And all. And the guys I've talked to, I did a lot of martial arts with them when I was younger. So we all kind of know each other real good. And like I said, we go to church, and our families have been around each other for years. And I only got one of them to go, woo, you know, the old, what do you call it, that show, Twilight Zone. Mm-hmm. He got to doing that at me a little bit, going, woo, like that. And he just laughed at me and walked off, you know, but he was just picking on me that day. But he knows I was serious, because he saw I wasn't sleeping. You know.
So people can, you know, you said you're losing your temper a little bit more than usual, and you lost your sleep.
Yeah, and I'm an easy go person. I'm happy. I'm usually smiling all the time. You know, it's just made me, like I said, a little jumpy, because I can't figure out what happened to me or how it happened. I don't know why it happened. All I know is that, and like right now, it's a lightning flashing up there, and it makes me jump a little bit because I'm seeing the lightning flash. But I'm sitting still in the car, so I ain't worrying about that. Right. I was just sitting out in the driveway, and I thought it started drizzling rain. I thought it'd be getting in here out of the rain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, you know, well, God bless you, Edward, for sharing that story one more time and coming back on this. I would love, if anything changes, you know, let me know. I'd appreciate it. You know, if you see another whatever. Have you seen any Bigfoot in the area? I actually had another guy from North Carolina call in last Saturday and talk about spooking a Bigfoot couple and its baby.
And my son-in-law picking on me now. He just hit the glass. Me and my grandson, with the youth from the church, in his class age, we went camping down there at trying to think, it ain't Uwharrie, it's, Uwharrie National Park. Right. I forgot exactly what it's called, but I've always called it that, but they changed the name of it. And down there we heard something screaming like a pig, like it was really hollering. And about two of us stayed there in the camp, and everybody got guns out because it was close, and something screamed, and all of a sudden that pig screamed, and that was quiet. And something killed a big old pig. So when we walked down through the wood, it was pieces everywhere, like something ripped it apart. But we never did see it. But I got a friend of mine that goes to church. He seen Bigfoot down here at URI about 10 years ago, and it scared him so bad he won't go back. He said he seen Bigfoot, and he said he run all the way back to his truck, and he said I won't go back down there and camp. But our youth group went down there and camped, and that's the only thing I heard. When we heard the screaming and stuff, and like I said, we got the guns out because we had my grandson's, well, he's 7 now. He just had a birthday, but they're all between 6 and 7. And matter of fact, they had most of them get inside the cement block. And there's a couple other campers come running up there and got in there with them. For your wash house, the bath house, that night. But it was loud down in there, and that's the only thing we could think it could have been. And because we don't have no cat, and let's see, I've seen a black bear around Thomasville, but I haven't heard of any being down there around URI. But that's the only thing we could explain it. And we heard about 5 coyotes, but they didn't sound quite right. But that was, like I said, it's been about 3 months ago that we were down there, because that's when I went with my grandson to camping down there. Let's see. Like I said, we found pieces of that pig ripped all to pieces.
Oh, yeah.
Something tore it apart, and something had to eat it, and it was more than one thing, because, like I said, it was, the leg bone was laying there, the head was gone, the backbone was laying, but everything else was gone. And like I said, it was just pieces laid around there, and something had to rip that thing apart.
Was there any claw marks or teeth marks on it, or just a big mess?
Well, it looked like it had some teeth marks around the leg bone. It was like big teeth marks. And like I said, we were sitting there and we heard something like a pig just squealing as loud as it could, and that made a lot of us jump up, and it just kept on. Then we just heard it. It was just real loud. And like I said, they went out and we got all the kids and put them in that thing. And like I said, we stayed down there, and then a couple of them went out looking around. But the lights and all, it's so dark down in there. The only power was at the bathhouse. And one guy had a generator, but the rest of us had big old flashlights. And that's mainly what we used. And then the next day, like I said, we went walking to go down and go fishing, and we run into that pig carcass and all, as it was right there near the trail. They told one of the game wardens was coming in there one of them was in the bathroom, and they told him, and he rode up through there, and he said he'd take a look. And then I noticed about 3 more game wardens come in, and they were down that way. So I don't know if they were going to try to track what it was, but it was some big footprints down there. I mean, bigger than anybody I ever seen. They were smushed like something just crushed, that was fighting. Like I said, the pig didn't give up without a fight. It went down scrapping, but it was a big, pretty good sized pig.
Mm-hmm.
But we looked around and stuff, but like I said, it made us, we only stayed one night. We left, just in case. We were there that one night, and we left. It's the RAs, what we're called, the Young Royal Ambassadors for Christ.
Right.
Is the group, And like I said, we stayed one night and we all come home, every last one of us, just in case. But I have thought about going back down there, me and some buddies, and taking some cameras and seeing if the game ones will let us set them up, you know, and maybe take some bait out there and see if we can catch it, catch a picture of it or something, ever what it was. Like I said, I noticed that some wolves loose in the mountains, and where I seen a black bear at was over here at Lake Tumblex, and one guy seen it, and one year it had 2 cubs. He got it moved over to the other side of the lake where he fished, and that was his favorite fishing spot where the mama bear and the baby cubs were. So I know we have black bear, but I know they've been some cases of pigs and bears fighting in North Carolina, and like they're fighting for the same territory. But there's some big old hogs up in here. Matter of fact, I told one guy, I seen one over here at Thomasville. He was running around the Methodist church, and he went over and asked the preacher, and he took a bow and he killed it on it, tusk and everything. And that preacher said he's got kids that play out there. So he took a thing, and it was 450-pound pig. He shot it with a bow, and about a couple of his friends come over from the church, and they took it and dug a pit, and they cooked it and had it like a luau for the whole church. No.
Well, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
It's been a while. It's been a hot minute since I went to a pig roast. There ain't nothing better than authentic Southern pig roast. Nothing.
I know. I remember we had one time down there during Halloween. We have like a thing where like we get together and we have like plays like about Noah and Jesus and different things like that on Halloween night. And they give out candy. Some people call it trunk or treat, but we had a pig roasting one time, and it was real good. The whole church turned out for it. So, but it's about 2 big old pigs we put in the ground and roasted. So,
oh man,
that was pretty. Yeah, it's good. That's been a long time.
Well,
that one.
I would love to attend another pig roast. The last one I actually attended was my stepdad. This was probably about, I'd say 30 years ago. No, probably about 20, 24, 25 years ago. And he, had his own pig roaster, and he spent all night roasting that pig. And I have yet to come across a piece of pig or ham or anything, pork roast, that would even come close to that. That was delicious.
I know it's something about cooking it like that, and just it tastes so good. And I got a friend, and he went bear hunting, and his father shot a large one, and he shot a small one, and he took barbecued it and took it to his family reunion. And by the time he got back around, he went back over to get some bear, and they had ate every bit of it.
Holy cow.
Yeah, so it was around here, they'll barbecue and put anything in and roast it and make a good barbecue sauce out of it.
Oh, wow.
But the pig and stuff, but that's the closest thing I know around here. And like I said, that friend of mine, he won't go back down to Yorari, but he said that was Bigfoot.
It sounded like it from what description. You said the pig was torn apart, and there was footprints that were bigger than anything that you have seen.
Yeah, and the skin, it was a little piece of skin. Well, not a little piece of, like a hunk of meat. We took every last one of us. I'm only 5 foot. Well, I was 5'6". I'm 5'4" now. I'm shrinking. But we have one guy 6 foot something. He's about 6'6", and he's a police officer. He stuck his hand down there. I mean, he's a big old man with muscles and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And the face of him looked like something had ripped it off. You could see like an impression of a hand. It was 3 times the size of his hand, where it looked like it just pressed down and grabbed, like, where someone just reached into something. And he put his hand into that, and it was like I said, he's gigantic, and he says ain't no little man. He's strong. I used to change his diapers. Yeah, he's 6'6" and 200 and some. I mean, he's solid muscle.
Wow.
And,
it sounds like you were in the middle of the holy grail of if somebody had a plaster, these plaster cast kits that they've got for Bigfoot hunting. You were in the middle of the holy grail of plaster cast places if you had.
I know it. We didn't have nothing like that. We were, matter of fact, we were down there. We was going to take them kayaking on the lake and stuff. But I go back down there with some friends. We're gonna make sure we got plenty of weapons, but we're gonna also take stuff that maybe it's gonna be an adult thing. It ain't gonna be any kids around. But that's what we're planning on doing. I'm going bear hunting with a friend of mine at church this year. So I'm hoping to learn more.
Oh, yeah.
And at my age, I'm wanting to learn because he's 70-some, and he said he'd teach me what he knows about hunting and tracking. And
right there, that is better than any classroom teaching right there. You got somebody that age that's wanting to show you something. You better perk your ears up and listen, take notes.
That's what I know. He's one of the elders, and like I said, he's been a lawman too, and he's used that in the past for tracking people that the law's after out in the woods and stuff, and finding kids. He's found a bunch of kids before, but just he just using tracking skills, stuff that we would overlook. He looks and he watches everything, and even at his age right now, he still picks up on stuff quicker than anybody I've ever seen. And I'm surprised at some of the stuff that he can come up with and can tell you about.
Right.
And some of the people he's tracked down.
I dare say, the missing kids, you can get a kid can jump off out of the side of their parents in 2 seconds. They're gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
I know it. Yeah. It only takes a split second, like in the woods, and they can be totally, and you could be walked miles before they even realize they walked it. Like I said, he's tracked kids and got them out of places and found them, and 9 times out of 10, he's only had to find 3 that's been passed on, and it tore him up, and he still can't talk about them 3. And he said if I'd just been there a day earlier, if they'd called me a day earlier, he said I could probably got them. And the 3 that it didn't, it was, I guess the weather got to them. But he said that that's the only thing. He said it still tears him up looking at them little babies. He can still shut his eyes and see them.
Oh,
but
man.
he said he said they went to sleep here and God woke them up in heaven. So he's a real good Christian man.
Oh, yeah.
But like I said, he's going to take me hunting and show me tracking and stuff like that. And I'm wanting to learn because I'm wanting to show my youngins. I got 4 grandsons and a granddaughter. I want to teach her too. If he teaches me, I want to teach them before they'll have the skill. Because you never know what kind of skills you can use in the future.
Well, considering what possibly could be down the road, it's best to have these types of skills that you're talking about. You never know what you're going to have to rely on in the future. Hey, Edward, I got one. I want to go back to that missing time thing. When you got flashed by that blue light, which I think you said it was somewhere around Thomasville?
No, it was around High Point.
High Point. Okay.
It's in High Point. I was in High Point. Right. See if you can Google that thing over there where if you see where Wing King is, and you're going down through there. If you look out on your left as you come down through there, on my right would be more different companies, but most of it would be Thomasville, busting on that side too. But on this side is just a big open field. I looked that way and that light flashed, and then the next thing I know, I was there. Everywhere there was a building 20 miles away from where I was at that point. That's the only thing I can remember. That light flash and that. The man, get over, look, and then that. Because I noticed when I turned this way, I seen the buses. I looked, and then the flash, when I turned my head to start going back forward, because I always, and next thing I seen the flash, and I didn't know nothing after that.
So were you on the Fairfield Road when this happened?
Yes, sir. Heading back towards the, like you would, you could head back towards, like you would keep going that way. You'd see, you'd run up on, go to a couple of lights, and you keep on going. You'll go over top the bridge, go into Green Street, and then you can turn on the Ward from there, like in that way. The only reason I was going that way is because it's around down that way, and then I'd turn on to off the. I'm trying to think. I usually turn back that way and go back towards Thomasville, towards a national highway from there. And I didn't get that far. I wound up 20 miles from where I was at from that flash.
All right. So you're going toward the Speedway? Is that where you wound up? Yeah, I know you said something and you saw Thomas-built buses.
The Speedway's on your right. I turned back that way towards your right, down through there. Let's see. Wait a minute, not Speedway. It'll be a Walgreens on the end where I turned to go down that way.
Okay.
I never did get to the Speedway. The Speedway's on down the road.
All right.
But where I got to was there there's a fence with a bunch of buses. That's where I got to. Because on down below there, I never did get that far. The last thing I remember was, like, I looked over and then the light, and then boom, then it was buildings.
Oh,
that's what I mean. Wow. Yeah, right there. Because if I went on down that way, I would have seen the speed thing, and then over here's a little store across the street, and then there's like a cafe-like thing. At one point it was closed, but I think they've reopened it back up now. But I never did get down that far. I was right there as you come around where the Wing Ching was, past the bowling alley Wing Ching, and right there, and then I seen the buses, then the flash, and then that's it.
Wow.
Because when I go down that last way, I usually go all the way across, and I go across the bridge, and I go on down and go up to Green. I turn back towards the left to head towards Market Center, and then I go on down there to get the National Highway back to Thomasville. That's the way I usually go if I'm coming back that way.
Okay.
But I never did get that far. Next thing I know, I was 20 miles away in old country roads way back. Well, 20 miles back, coming back.
So when you got flashed and you woke, literally, I'm going to say woke up, but I'm using that term because I don't have a better term to use. Were you disoriented when you was driving? When you was like you passed by the buses?
Well, to tell you the truth, I felt a little dizzy-headed when I first, when I was still driving, and I was kind of like this, and I looked around, and I was kind of dizzy-headed, but it wasn't dizzy like you pass out. It's like you ever been on a merry-go-round?
Oh yeah.
And you step off and you kind of feel the world going around, but you're not. That's the way I felt. But I was still driving at the point. And when I looked down, it's still 45 miles an hour.
Right.
And I said I pulled over, and it was brick buildings, like company buildings, and all. I'm going to go and write them names down, them buildings, next time I go. I don't know why I ain't done that yet, but
well, I pulled up a map. I pulled up a map with Wing King and all that stuff in Fairfield Road.
Yeah.
Was just kind of using that as maybe add to the story a little bit. But it sounds like you're right on top of it with your memory. That's for sure.
Yeah, I try to remember stuff because things like I said, I like to read and I like to do stuff like that, and I love to draw, but I can't draw like my father. I can draw like a building or a car or something with the rulers and stuff.
Yeah, stick figure kind of art.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's my that's how I draw. But my father could, like, he could sit down and draw you and then turn you into a cartoon. He could draw you just like you. And then he'd sit there and he'd draw you into a cartoon. And it made me so mad. He got that gift. My brother could draw horses. My sister could do anything like that. They got that gift. And I wished I had it, but I didn't get it. One of my cousins was in Vietnam. He was an architect. He got blew up over there. He's sitting on a landmine, and it blew the side of his face off, and it made him blind. So instead of letting him out, because he could blow up anything he could think of, and he could build anything. So they sent him to architect school to be an architect. He worked for the Corps Engineers, Army Corps Engineers, and he showed me how to draw and stuff, like design buildings and things. So that's what he done. He would play with me, sit out there and show me how to draw with things like that. So I can sit and I can draw a building. But my father ain't even got the ability to draw pictures. I wish I could draw. You know.
I need to get back into the art stuff that I did when I was a teenager. I was pretty good. I probably am not that good now. I hadn't touched that stuff, and I couldn't tell you how long.
Yeah.
But Edward, I appreciate you, man. I really do.
Yeah. Okay. And thank you for letting me talk and let me try to get some of this out of me.
Oh, like yeah. When you go out and you do that hunting trip, the bear hunting trip with your buddy that's going to teach you all these tracking stuff, he tells you any wild stories, let me know. Give me a call back, or if you remember or have any more encounters with this black vehicle with a window tint that you can't see in, let me know. Appreciate it.
I will. Okay, I will. Okay, you have a good night.
I appreciate you, brother, and God bless you, and you have a good Wednesday. I about said Saturday, but it's not Saturday.
I know. Yeah. I listened to your Saturday show, after my friend told me to listen to it. You know,
but, Levi was Levi, and then there was Adam that had some incredible cryptid stuff. I was like, holy cow.
Okay. Well, that's one of the things I want to tell you before I get off here. I know this country's in a whole lot of hurt and a whole lot of trouble, and I mean, with a lot of things going on that God's going to end up taking care of. But I always take my grandson to the rodeo. Last year we didn't get to it because of COVID.
Oh, yeah.
But we went to the rodeo in down there in Sophia, North Carolina. It's Jerome Davis's annual rodeo thing. He's had it for 22 years now. The first thing they did was they stood up and they prayed. And instead of having a singer come in and sing the national anthem, the man started it off, and everybody there sung. And there's a thing where there's a bunch of girls on horses, and they ride around carrying the American flag and stuff. I seen America that night. Saturday night, I seen America. My grandson seen what America is supposed to be about. They prayed for the 13 soldiers. There were 13 flags on top of the grandstand. I mean, everywhere. There were 13 flags around the whole place, standing for each one of the soldiers that passed. I pray that people don't forget their names and what they've done for us and what they do for us. But I seen that Saturday. I seen America, what America is that night. I can't explain it. You have to see Mom caught. Nobody was fussing. Nobody was fighting. And there were people there there was fans there of rodeo that they were yellow, black, green, white, you name it. We were there, and we were all Americans, and we were all praying, and we all sung together. And I seen what was supposed to be, and what the founders, I think, set it up to be. Everybody coming together and being one, not a separation.
Right. And I think that's exactly what they're trying to do is, get neighbor against neighbor for what little insignificant crap that they can come up with.
I know. And if we all sit down and talk to each other, and if you look at your Bible and you see what's in there, he says it's going to be days that they're going to tear us apart. They're going if you mention the name of Jesus, he's going to be the enemy. But just know that, like an old preacher told me one time, he held up the book and he said, he said this, at the back of this book, he said, he wins. God wins.
Yep.
So, and all it is comes down to, I want to mention Jesus Christ and God wins. So,
absolutely.
No matter what we do or what anybody says or what happens in life, it's going to come down to that. I just thought I wanted to tell somebody that because, like I said, my grandson seen how people were all together, and it didn't make no difference who you were or what you were. You were American, and you were praying to the Lord and singing to and it was beautiful the way I seen it. How I grew up when I was a kid, and then cowboy days watching cowboy and Indians. But everybody was good guys.
Absolutely,
you know. But like I say, I pray every night that we all, instead of being divided, we all come together and love one another. Because I can hate anybody, but God tells me to love even my enemies. And I know it's hard to do. Some things that we're going through here at the house right now, but there are people that I would rip apart if I could get them with my bare hands, but you can't. You're supposed to just love them. And I know that Jesus would say that. And because I hate it when I hear about people hurting, babies and other stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Like I said, when that guy teaches me, if any time I could use that to help somebody, and like I said, I will get some stories from him because he's got some good ones, and I'll call back in when I go.
All right, I appreciate you, Edward. I have mentioned you at least 6 times since you called in, and your missing time story just left me gobstopped. So, and I appreciate you giving me another go at listening to this story again.
Okay, and I know I'm all over the place, but it's just the way my brain's just spinning, I guess, still from it.
Oh yeah.
But I'm trying to sort it all out, and like I say, I'll pray for you, and I'll pray for everybody in this country to get to know the Lord, nothing else. Know Him, and everything will be a lot better.
Yeah, so couldn't say it any better, buddy. I appreciate you, brother.
Okay, and I appreciate you too.
All right, Edward. Anytime you want to call in, you just call in. You got my number. So
yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Well, you have a good night.
Yeah. God bless you, brother, and I'll talk to you later.
God bless you. Mm-hmm. Bye.
Bye. All right. How in the world can you top that? Which I know a lot of folks out there probably can. They're probably saying, well, I've had these same encounters or similar encounters, or nobody want to hear my story. And that's exactly what this is. This is unscreened, open lines. You don't have to have that level of story, but, you may be sitting on a story that everybody else will go, wow, holy cow, like Edward with his 2 hours missing time after being flashed by a blue light. And then traveled, I think he said 25 miles down the road, 25 miles down the road, and still driving a car. That's crazy. Bigfoot Anonymous, Connor, hey buddy, call back in. I didn't want to interrupt Edward in the middle of his storytelling event. But anybody else, you can call in 931-994-6917. We have been talking about a little of this, a little of that tonight. And that's exactly what Unscreened Open Lines is about. No specific topic, no specific anything. I know that we were talking Bigfoot just a minute ago with this new massive Idaho Bigfoot sighting that's on NVTV. I covered this last Saturday night. Uh-oh. I believe I might have Bigfoot Anonymous on the line here. Hey, Connor, what's going on?
What's up, man? How's it going? I'm fresh off the Tennessee Squatch out. It was awesome.
Yeah. So how did you like those woods over there around Copper Hill?
Oh, man. They were tough on my legs, but they were a good challenge, and it just slowed me down a little bit, but it was exactly what I was looking for. And there was mist up there in the mornings, and driving through, like, the canyons were amazing. And we were on Cohutta, Big Frog Mountain, and you know me, the mud fossil maniac. So that was a giant frog back in the day. So we were just climbing up the frog's backs and all the crevices through his spine, I guess, you know. So it was just a remarkable time. We were surrounded by hairy men and also hairy men enthusiasts. And I also made a couple enthusiasts out of some people rafting down the river, and some people that were trying to make fun of us at first. But I quickly spun them around real quick and got them dizzy enough to fall into our reality of Sasquatch and Dogman and Gugway.
Oh, man. So I understand that a couple of people had some strange encounters or maybe some rocks thrown at them during this event. What's going on with that?
Yes. Well, last year, guys, everybody had to vacate because the Sasquatch got so aggressive. And Janice Carter from the Tennessee Carter Farm story, 50 years with Sasquatch, she was pretty much raised with a Sasquatch named Fox with her Native American grandfather. But last year, she sensed some really bad things, and there was like limbs and rocks, and then started being branches being thrown down on some of the campers. And then it started to repeat. Of course, history always rewinds, just like my book says. But this year, it was a little bit more peaceful because Flat Rock Booger and Blue Eye Northern, two very wise people, were down at the campsite where it kind of happened last year. And there were just pebbles and little twigs being thrown off, and then just strange sounds from up there. And then we also recorded a strange howl the first night, but there was also a bunch of drunken idiots up there, so it could have been one of them. But we have the recording. It sounds cool. And then the last night, Old Bear's Den led a little expedition, and they found a male performing a mating call within 300 yards of them. So that's a pretty close encounter. And some people, they're 300 yards, that's nothing. But when you're out there in the canyons and the mountains, 300 yards is pretty close when they can see you and you can't see them, because they have those perfect eyes that give them just so much of an advantage and just so much of an instinctual grid that they can just see everything with their smell and just the sonic waves through everything. But they also got a picture of a nest, and Old Bear's Den posted that today. It's pretty cool. It's up in the tree, and a lot of stuff was woven together. A pretty special find, and there was a couple other expeditions that found footprints. I know Squatching Cowboy got a couple footprints on camera, and then Mogollon Monster was all over the place as well. He came to the Expedition Bigfoot Museum with me, and it was so awesome. We got to see the Yeti hand from Nepal, the Yeti scalp. Yeah, I haven't still confirmed yet if it's the original.
I didn't even know that was even close to me.
Yeah, that's in Cherry Log, Georgia. It was only like 38 minutes south of the campsite, and we passed it on the way coming up. And I actually passed it like 4 years ago and didn't get a chance to stop, so that like ate at me, and I finally got to do it. So that was a very important check mark. But they temperature control those things, the bone, the scalp, the hand. So it might be the original. It might have got sent over here from the Buddhist temple and Buddhist museums that it was originally being shown in. It must have had a nice grant and a promise for protection, of course. But that place was so magical. There was a wall of fame, and Bobby Short had a lot of pictures in there, and I donated my book, so I'm a little piece of it now. And oh man, I got a good little video too, a 20-minute little tour, just walking around and narrating my fun stuff, because it was like a kid in a candy store for me. I knew a lot of what was going on, and some of my arch nemesises were in there as well. Up on the wall of fame. I'm like, what are these guys doing up here? We got the reality shifted from us if these guys are heroes, but it's just some wild times. But that place is all good, man. And it's called Expedition Bigfoot, and that TV show is called Expedition Bigfoot too. I asked them about that, and they just said they had the image copyrighted, not the name, so the TV show kind of swooped up and took it.
Oh, wow. Looks like Steve from 13 Past Midnight's over there, Steve Stockton. He says, howdy to you.
Oh, man, Steve, what's up, dude? I missed you on Friday because I was in the canyon. I had no internet service, and I'm really looking forward to this upcoming Friday. Steve is, of course, a legend and such an inspiration. He has written such incredible work, and his just voice puts you in a trance just to learn information and dive into the weird and strange. And him and Gemma really have something special going on over there. And then they bring Dylan, and that's just like family with me. So I feel right at home, man. And as well as Laura and Cisco, all really good people, man. And it's just family, man. And that's like, it was so surreal meeting all the people in real life. BF Bud was there, of course, Manimal Research, Jasper and Wayne, and then Daryl Olney. He actually got attacked by a Sasquatch in Chickamauga battlefield. I probably said it wrong, but you would know better than me. But he got attacked. Good. I don't need to be canceled on the internet. They already try every other weekend,
Every other sentence.
They're trying to shadow ban me.
Yeah, every other sentence comes out of my mouth mispronounced anyway, so.
But, Daryl Olney was attacked by a Sasquatch or a demon in this battlefield after cussing it out, and it punched him in the face or whacked him in the head, and he got this huge baseball-sized knot on the side of his face, and then it scratched him across his chest, and he had 3 trident-sized carvings, basically. And all this, I interviewed him. I got a 15-minute interview. He had a nice Tupperware thing of hair, 35 casts. He only had 5 that he was showing that were certified by National Geographic, hand casts and feet casts, and some had hair in the casts. That was pretty crazy. But he got ripped apart by this Sasquatch, and then he freaking fell on the ground and shot it 3 times, and nothing happened. It just faded away into darkness. And I just put up a minute video of it on TikTok 7 hours ago, and it's 35,000 views. So it's very cool. I can't wait to wake up in the morning and see what it's at.
What was the lead injector that he shot this thing with?
Oh, I'm not sure. It was he showed a small pistol. I'm not very good with guns, but it was definitely nothing impressive on his side, and maybe the gun he had that day when he was telling the story is not the same as that, but it didn't matter what the gun was because it literally had no damage. It went right through it because he put 2 in it right away, just on panic, falling back, pow pow, and then it faded. It started moving backward, and then he put 1 in its head, and it perfect shot, because he was calmer. And 2 seconds later, and then boom, puts it right through its head, and nothing happened. It just kept fading away. And I also heard a lot of stories of Sasquatch being put down with the right shot this weekend too. And those videos will be on YouTube once the other people put them on YouTube too. I don't want to be the first one to break some of these newses, but man, anybody that wants to battle Sasquatch, battle if it's real or not, oh man, you don't want to buck up against the wrong person, and especially me. You know, a lot of my parents' friends harass the crap out of me, and it's like unreal because good people are so welcoming in this community that have incredible stories that would really shut them up. Because of course the long-haired 29-year-old who lives out of his car, you know, that guy doesn't really matter. But the other people that have doctrines, I think their voice, you know, would shut some of these naysayers up. There was one guy, he's part of Manimal Research. He's writing a psychology book about Sasquatch. You know me, I wrote a psychedelic book about Sasquatch. So it was really funny to meet halfway, and he was really impressed by some of my theories, but then he also psychoanalyzed me in a couple ways, and I don't even know what that meant. And my buddy Tristan is like, yeah, he psychoanalyzed you, and you handled it good. I'm like, I was just talking to the guy, dude. I'm just baked. I'm camping. Oh man, and man, Sean, my mom was worried about me like eating, so she's like, make sure you make sandwiches and bring peanut butter crackers. So I packed up. Man, first night burgers, second night the big dinner, jambalaya, burgers, hot dogs, crawfish, and then the last night I went on a mission. Well, I was going to go on a mission to find a squatching cowboy's lost wallet, and then we were all geared up, and they ended up finding the wallet. But of course, I still earned my ticket to dinner, I think, and I got a ribeye steak and some Cajun freaking sausage from Blue Eyed Northern and Joe Parker, man. And then Flat Rock Booger gave me a cot. Flat Rock Booger, I suggest everybody check his channel out. He's from Alabama, really nice guy. He has Sasquatch on his property. He has tons of audio recordings, crazy pictures. He was playing it through his speakers, and I think the Sierra sounds mixed with the Flat Rock sounds brought some of the Sasquatch over the hill for the night. And then the last night we had a terrible monsoon, and some of us got flooded out, and it was really crazy, man. And I just had such a fun time. And you know me, I'm running around wild, and I went rafting, kayaking, but it's more like a raft, of course, where it's inflatable. And that's the white water that the Atlanta Olympics were held. So it was just so dope, It's like so magical. And then on the way, we stopped at Providence Canyon, which is a Georgia Grand Canyon, got a video, and hunting down the Hogzilla, because there's a legend there that there's a giant hog that kind of got stuck in the canyon and has just gotten so big over the years. So I put together a nice little 25-minute adventure to that. And then we also stopped at the Kolomoki Mounds, which is the Georgia Pyramid. And I only been there once, and we were kind of later in the day. This time I actually got to see the museum, and you go inside of a burial mound, and it was just so crazy, like the feeling in your chest. Like I haven't felt that feeling in my chest since I was a kid, and I've experienced a couple things in the past 4 or 5 years, but the feeling I got there was just unreal. And then my last little stop that we made on the way back home was the Cohelee Creek covered bridge, which is known for the Goatman. And I did a nighttime video there back in the day, but it was nice to see it during the day. And my buddy Tristan from Hidden Relief, he actually found this trailway of these strange looking markings, and like there were structures, there was stuff on the ground, and then there was these footprints, and I got a nice little 15-minute video of that until my thing burned out. My GoPro mysteriously burned out. So we were just running ourselves dry, man. And we got some good sleep, and we had some long nights, and we got rained on, and we had magical times. So it was just like a roller coaster of like ideas and emotions. And oh man, it was just so magical, and I can't wait till the next one, and I'm definitely planning on hosting one here in the Panhandle, just because we have, Stacy Brown, Donnie Miller, me, and Tristan, and that's 4 people that can, bring a couple people each, and boom, we have a nice camp out. And I'm just so excited. Oh, yeah, Mogs can make the drive. He's in South Florida, And Moog's, I'm actually going to Moog's at the end of the month. I'm visiting my dad in Naples, and Moog's is not too far from Naples, and I plan on hitting the Mayaca State Park and then, of course, the Everglades. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with Moog's, maybe some saltwater fishing, or maybe just, just walking around some coastal town. It doesn't take much for me to be energetic and exploratic, so I'm really looking forward. And I'm just making up words at this point now too, so that's just great. Exploratic, like that's incredible. I don't know if that's a word, but it definitely explains the situation.
Oh man, I can only imagine you getting there at this squatch out or whatever you call it down there in Copper Hill. Did you pass out the first night, or did you stay up the whole night?
Yeah, the first night we went up in Flat Rock Booger's pickup truck to the top of the mountain and had a little conversations up there, and then I had some cheeseburgers. I fell asleep probably around like 3 or 4, and I was always one of the first ones up too. And me and Mogi, I hate to pat myself on the back, but me, Mogian, and Tristan were like the handymen around the campground. If someone needed something, we were there, and we were putting up tents, taking them down, and making sure people didn't get taken away in the flood. And but people also took better care of me than I could ever take care of them. And I also want to shout out my homie Hillbilly Greg from Manimal Research. This guy is disabled from the military, and it doesn't slow him down one bit. He kept up with us up these mountains, and he was very observant, and he's a very wise guy, and he was part of Manimal Research, and he talked around a campfire, and Old Bear's Den just posted a video of him, and I'm also in the video, and my buddy Tristan. It's some good footage, but I love seeing these people that are outcasts just like me that find their tribe, and it strengthens my heart, because I understand what it's like to be on the outside and not really accepted, but then you be yourself enough and you find out there's so many of those people, and then you can just magnetize, and then these type of squatch outs are perfect for it. I know I definitely talk everybody's ear off, but I know when to shut up and just enjoy the moment as well. And I know Mogian can attest for that. Of course, I keep things energetic and stuff, but I love a peaceful morning as well too.
Mogian wants to call in and take part of this little short discussion. You can. I'll tie all 3 of us together. I've got that capability.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, but definitely. So I did ask in your live, it wasn't a live stream. I guess it was a live chat with your premiere of short video that you had. Did you personally hear anything or see anything? I knew you said something about cracking sticks in the middle of the woods in the middle of the night, but anything personal?
Yeah, on Saturday night I heard some movement. I don't know if it was really a Sasquatch. It was just some mysterious crackling, but it was around the bend where, they were throwing the twigs and rocks from. So it definitely could have been something. I definitely got to look through my footage and see what I recorded on my back cam. I heard that first howl the first night. That could have been a drunken idiot. We all heard it up on the top of the mountain. But Tristan recorded it, thank God, so we have it. So I'm very excited about that. And then the final night, Sunday, right before the storm, we go out, Tristan and I, because it was just drizzling, and we're like, oh, we might as well get one last nocturnal, visit up the mountain. And we didn't even make it probably a half mile before we were just overstruck with like weird terror. I don't know if it was the scary stories from all day mixed with just the last day. We're just trying to get through it. And then I also think, bad things happen during really bad storms. Of course, people go missing, and then all the evidence is just wiped clean. And if anything did happen to us, no one would have found us. No one would have heard us screaming. And both me and Tristan agreed to turn around after a while. And he was moving forward, and I was running backward. or not running backward, but kind of skipping backward with my flashlight, just peering around. And I was really going to take the fall and just take it if one of them were hunting us down and coming at a crazy pace. But I definitely want to start carrying a weapon just to be able to even the playing field. I know they respect the weapon in a way, but they also get uneasy, but they can read it in your heart and smell it as well. If you're gonna, be able to pull the trigger, not be able to pull the trigger, but if you plan on pulling the trigger. And I just want them to know, if they're gonna try to take me, I'm going to take them with them. And then if we can agree with that, then let's just both survive. Let's just agree not to. So that's all I'm trying to understand. And I've been really lucky so far, but I just don't want to keep testing my luck. I've just heard too many crazy stories. And that night, we were just overcome with it. And Mogollon Monsters camp was like right on the corner by the woods. And he saw us go in, and we asked him to come on. He's just like, nah, man. And then he was laughing his ass off when we got out. He's like, that wasn't long. And I was really scared. That was one of my top 7 scared moments, I'd say. And I even had the attitude, I was saying, I don't have time for that. Like I was just using like phrases that I watch people, I observe people use, when they're uncomfortable. And I was like, yeah, I have no time for that. I'm like, cause it was the last night. I was just like, I'm not trying to be terrorized. And it was just wild. Plus I was drinking that night too, so that might have had something to do with it. So maybe the dog man smelt the alcohol and was just trying to mess around. But I wasn't stumbling around or anything, but I just know that any kind of weird chemical makeup could bring these predators, of course.
Oh, certainly, yeah. It would behoove you to research and think, well, I know dogs definitely can smell cancer on somebody. If somebody has something else like a Bigfoot or other cryptid would have, a little bit of that heightened sense of, their surroundings, smell, visual. I know dogs can see the magnetic lines. Definitely, that's not see it but sense it. You can. That's definitely part of just watching dogs and researching dogs. Dogs, line up with north and south when they go out to do their business outside. So why not? Couldn't they sense? Could a Bigfoot typically sense what you've been drinking or drug use or whatever? Or they definitely have a thing for bacon, from what I understand.
They also have a thing for blondes.
Blondes.
BF Bud's wife, Angie, very pretty girl, very energetic. She was right up the mountain with all of us, but she was definitely not ordered, but recommended to put her hair under a hat because these creatures definitely allure to that blonde hair and that brightness, just like the human eye and the man's mind, of course, gets all excited about the blonde hair. But yeah,
natural
she was
or
hiking
blonde or dyed blonde.
Dyed blonde. I'm sure natural blonde, if it's golden, I'm sure that works. And redheads too. So it's blonde and redhead. So it kind of works for the natural. But that dyed blonde, that non-natural, that really, really magnetizes them. But she was with us when Greg was hearing whispers, and then Tristan, he calls it the spidey sense. He was saying something was watching him the night before, Saturday night, and then that same thing was even stronger on Sunday, and that's why we turned around. So yeah, things were definitely strong, and I think everybody's energy was pulling it in. We were out with a guy named Rick, who was a former police officer. He's like a gun expert, so he was very formal and operative when he was on the path. And then you had me, who was just like pure darkness. I wasn't using a flashlight and just kind of like hopping around, trying to rise curiosity, kind of be the bait. And then we had a guy named BF Bud that is ex-veteran, or of course a veteran, and a very wise man that knows many truths in this world. So his vibrations are already bringing in strange creatures, and he goes out pretty much every weekend and recorded howls, hoots, and tree knocks in the West Virginia and Ohio area. And he's from Chillicothe, which is giant. There's giant Native American mounds there. So man, yeah, I was just surrounded by good information. And even when, we were just having dinner, that's when, that camp was being assaulted by the pebbles and twigs in a curious way. They weren't trying to push them out, but a lot of people did leave during the storm. Of course, I think 99% of it had to do with the storm, but what caused the storm? That's what I'm asking.
Well, you never know. You never know. Strange things that happen. Can something cause a storm? Absolutely. If you believe that the man can do this climate change stuff, which okay, if you're on that level of craziness, but yeah, it sounds like you had a supernatural weekend over there in Copper Hill, Tennessee. Definitely.
Even the conversations were truly supernatural.
Right. Did anybody set up an overnight cam, night vision cameras or anything like that?
I'm not sure about cameras. I know a couple camps had motion lights and motion detectors. It would make sense for it to have a camera. I'm not entirely sure. I know some people had audio recordings going through the night, but over on my side, we were close to the river, so you really couldn't get a fair audio. But I'm sure some people did. I got over 5 hours worth of video that I'm going to be putting out, and I'm just so excited. I released that 30-minute video today of hiking and kayaking. Now I have a bunch of presentations and then our campfire stories and a little bit of footage of us going up the mountain. So yeah, I still got to decipher through the stuff I have, and Mogollon Monster has another 3 to 5 hours worth of footage. So there's going to be a ton of stuff coming out, and Cowboy is having a premiere on Saturday, and he said he found some tracks, and he tracks with a ex-police officer too. So I love when people can use their tactical advances to this too, and I just bring my wacko curiosity, and usually that brings me far enough, because I think in this natural world we need a little bit of everything. And I just look at it like the Native Americans do, man, just sitting around the fire and trying to really soak in nature, and the rest will just provide itself. And
right.
Most of the time it does.
Moses is saying, give credit where credit is due, Connor. Old Bear told us about the blonde and red hair theory.
Yeah, he did. I don't know if I said Old Bear. I'm trying to be kind of mysterious with Old Bear, just because he is such a wise man that people just need to go to him and hear it from him. But yeah, Old Bear said that. He kept reminding, of course, the girls to be careful with that. Old Bear is very, very wise, and even gets me to shut up. But there was also times that he was, hearing what I had to say, and I really had to appreciate that. And I think the mixture of the old heads and the new blood and the guys who are just gonna run straight at the target, not in a dumb way, in a well responsible way, but metaphorically, just being on the front lines, of course.
So, were you in a camp where if they saw a Bigfoot, would they run right after it to chase it down, or what? What would you say?
There was some guys in the camp, yeah, that was their plan, just like mountain monsters. They were gonna capture it, but no, most of the people are just trying to gather evidence and really soak in the vibes. There was multiple people that had hair found. I know Manimal Research has recovered hair, and then Olney also brought hair, and it was in a Tupperware, and I got to see it, green, brown, clear, black, right in front of my eyes, and that's not the first time, and it definitely looks like all the other specimens and samples that I've seen. But yeah, I don't think they would have been running after it, gunning it down, unless it was aggressive if it was a type, 4 or 5. Because, type 1 is monkey-like, type 2 is man-like, type 3 is a gugway, type 4, I'm trying to think the exact order. I know type 5 is a Gymnosqua, and that's the meanest of the Sasquatch. They're, the carnivores, of course. Of course, I've pacing around my house, I get the 5 mixed around. But again, check out Old Bear's Den, and if anybody doesn't know his channel, he is just a legend, just like Sean, just like Dark Waters, just like Dixie Cryptid, Steve from How to Hunt. I know some people aren't down with the How to Hunt gang, but hey, information is information. Don't shoot the messenger. Just take it for what it is. That's why I love stirring people up, because it's about the message. So the messenger can do what he's got to do, but it always leads back to the information on the table. And that's
looks
what
like I got a text message that might be geared towards you. Did the guy mention Kahula Creek Goatman in Georgia? I have a friend of mine that showed me his picture of a goatman in Tallahassee, Florida. The picture is clear as day, and the goatman looks around 8 foot tall. He has a really good camera set up, and I believe he mentioned the distance between him and the Goatman was about 150 yards, and this is from area code 904. So if he's still listening. Have you ever heard of a Goatman from Kahula Creek Goatman in Georgia?
Well, if this one, it's Coheely Creek.
Coheely?
Coheely Creek.
Okay.
The southernmost covered bridge in the state and in the country. But yes, that is the story of the Goatman. A man was tragically killed by a hate group, put up in a tree, then his body mysteriously vanished, and a mysterious beast, half man, half mutant, was spotted after, and a couple people went missing. But the story of the Tallahassee Goatman, no, I haven't heard of that. I interviewed, a Georgia police officer from Bainbridge that saw one with his partner. And then I've also caught some strange creatures at Kolomoki Mounds, and we called it the Goatman. I mentioned that in my video. But please email me that video or that picture if you can, or if that's right for you. panhandlepecans@gmail.com. Because Tallahassee is like right down the street from me, and that's pretty important because all these waterways all connect. So the Goatman there is the Goatman here, and the Goatman at Coheely Creek connects to the one at the Kolomoki Mounds. So we're talking about the same species here, and it's all Black Phillip, Baphomet, hopefully not saying himself, hopefully just some type of chimera creature, or just some kind of lost species that somehow kind of like the New Jersey Devil, but the New Jersey Devil has wings. Hopefully this Goatman doesn't have wings like Jeepers Creepers.
All right. Let's see. I just posted Old Bear's Den YouTube channel just now over there in my YouTube. So go and take a look at that. That sounds interesting. I'm probably going to subscribe to that guy and see if he's got any videos from this last weekend's adventures.
Yes, he does. And Sean, please listen to his presentation whenever he posts it.
Oh, yeah.
Because some of the points are so crazy. That's why I'm kind of hopscotching around, because I like I said, I gotta let them be the ones to say it first, and then I'll take it, So, but yeah, those guys have some crazy information over there. And Old Bear, he hosted the thing with his wife Barbie, and she was incredible. They were incredibly welcoming and just made it all feel like family. Man, I had a time of my life, and I met a lot of friends that now are real life friends. So it went from the keyboard to IRL in real life for you old geezers that don't know keyboard talk, AFK means away from keyboard, but you could just make fun of your friends, and when they're kind of away from life, you could just say they're AFK. It's a bunch of noobs. Cool.
That's old school to me. I was saying that kind of crap back when I was 20-something. I'm 50 now, so.
See, so it came out before me, you know. So I'm just a newbie, you know. All the words cycle and come back, but I guess some of us forget where we came from, you know.
Yeah, that's it's impressive. I'm impressed, one, just by your your knowledge base. It just astounds me. You know so much about these supernatural cryptid fields. We were talking earlier, trying to get another perspective here. We were talking about smelling supernatural smells, like here in this house I've come across cigarette smells, smell of chewing tobacco, aftershave, and my grandmother's perfume. White linen, I think, is the thing long after she's passed. Have you ever come across anything like that, having that olfactory supernatural connection?
Definitely smelled some cigarettes being lit in like old basements. Could have definitely been the carpet. But I have definitely very close to my senses. I'm the son of a twin, and they say we have some strange antennas to this world. So I'm always sniffing out weird things. Definitely some sewage in the forest and down creeks that we've never found, like the dead animal that we thought it would be. But nothing like, no candles or perfume, no positively smelling things that like brought me back. But I think that's kind of also a good thing at this point. I don't know. I don't know if my great grandma or anything like wore any special perfume or anything. I want to honor her as well, but I don't even think I'd know it if I smelled it. So maybe I can meet her in my dreams and have those conversations. Because honestly, I want to know more about my family members that are older and that have deceased, because the ones I have talked to, I've gotten some good stories. So I just know there's good stories still being waited to be undiscovered, and it will just add more depth to my journey and everything, because I'm just so proud of everybody I come across and all the people that are connected to me. That's what my books and that's what all this is. It's just representing my journey and the people that have kind of influenced me, and just the people that I have a voice for. The one old gentleman that we helped set up his tent, he actually was on Old Bear Den a couple episodes ago, and I didn't know that at the time, and I actually heard part of the episode now that I listened back. But he had crazy encounters when he was 12 years old, so like probably 60 years ago, and Sasquatch stepped on his chest to test if he was dead or not. Yeah, and it's a really crazy story, and he had a lot of other stories of them throwing pebbles at him when he was hunting. And then I was just listening to the story today on Old Bear, and he talked about shooting a Sasquatch. So it's crazy. This guy I'm helping with his tent and, kind of just chopping it up with. And, in a way, I was like, oh, man, got to do the tent in the pouring rain. So, part of me was a little snotty, but it felt good. It feels really good to help someone that needs it. Where I went wrong is I have a 3-person tent. They bought a 10-person tent for 2 of them. I should have did some wheeling and dealing. I should have said, hey, I'll trade you my 3-person tent for that 10-person tent, because a 10-person tent, whew, I could have me, like three cool girlfriends, my 2 kitty cats, a little hookah lounge. I could have it made.
Don't be knocking when this tents are rocking. Yeah, there you go.
Yes, they put it on, baby.
Yeah, got a quick question from Scott over in chat, which I think is right up your alley. Do dog whistles bring in Dogman? Have you ever heard of any kind of stories like that?
I've definitely heard of people experimenting with dog whistles. I've never seen it with myself, but you got to think in theory it would definitely bring in some things, or it would just manipulate the reality. I think Sasquatch probably doesn't like dog whistles because, dogs irritate him to start with. So I think if you want to irritate a Sasquatch or drive him off, maybe a dog whistle would work. But yes, I think a dog man would be coming in for the kill. So yes, I think you better watch out when you're using dog whistles.
From what I understand from the people I know, if you want to get rid of a dogman, you grow white sage, fresh white sage all over your property. That's supposed to be poisonous to them, and they avoid that like the plague. So if you really want to get rid of it.
That's very good to know.
I did not, I'm not one of these people that wants to attract a dogman or anything of the like.
Neither am I.
I don't want a Bigfoot to come up and knock on my window and say, "Hey, boy, I've been hearing that you've been talking about me." But yeah, I
get scared of that.
Oh yeah,
I really do, man.
Had a guy that first time he tried to call in, he apparently had a possible Men in Black encounter with these guys riding around in a brand new, I think it was a Chevy SUV, blacked out tinted windows after he had missing time about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Have you ever come across the Men in Black with all these encounters that you have documented?
I'm definitely sure they've came to me undercover, and I probably greeted them as a freaking friendly, and they're probably like, "Man, I can't figure this guy out." I'm not entirely sure. After that Giant Bone article got posted, I remember there was like this white Chrysler parked outside my house like for a couple days, and I was kind of like, kind of freaking out. I'm not sure. My whole thing is let's get the populations and the waves just knowing all this. That way it's just like you can't do anything about the majority. But it's definitely on my mind, and it's pretty scary. And I heard a lot of Men in Black stories this weekend too. A lot of these guys were truck drivers, so their names are, certified wherever they're driving, so they can just pull these guys over to the side and be like, "Hey, we got to check your weight. You better shut up about all this information you're putting out." So yeah, there's going to be a lot of...
Whip out the portable scales, and then all of a sudden, hey, you got a few $1,000 fine, and let's hold your license for a little bit until we get this cleared up. Wink, wink, don't talk about this stuff. So.
Exactly. And now it's like, oh, let me check your temperature. Oh, you're sweating a little bit. Yeah, sir, I've been driving through the Sahara Desert. Oh, no, sir, you're getting put in the FEMA camp in Walmart.
Oh yeah, we can get off on a whole nother tangent about pull out your 10 hats, folks. But obviously, you and I are on the same page with this theory. So yeah, I guarantee that will or has happened. So that's all I can say.
100%, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you knew I had to just throw it in the left jab right there, of course, to just let everybody, let the lights flicker a little bit in that real world, because seriously, the Sasquatch talk is wild, and if Sasquatch is real, imagine what else is. And Sasquatch is real, so guys, there is a dark spell trying to be cast over this land, and we kind of got to work together to break free. So let's not do this divide and conquer. No matter what, if you're experimented or not, it doesn't matter. We have to work together. If they start trying to mandate things, you have to fight it, because that's the loss of freedom. And if they stop, letting us into grocery stores, then let's do barter. Let's, stop bending over for them and giving them everything. We have to fight back 100%, or else we're not going to have anything here soon.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's hard to, the things that I have heard, over the radar web stuff that you kind of put your ear to the ground. There's some tough times about ready to happen, from what I'm understanding. Even the war with China within the next 2 years, and it just mind boggles me to death, thinking, okay, how did we get here, and how easy was it to stupefy the powers that be stupefied us, and thinking that all this stuff was needed to happen. From, hey, you got to have this whatever injection. Well, that will get rid of your mask. Well, now you got to have another injection, but you got to have another mask on top of it. Okay. Well, now this new strain of whatever, this what would you call it? This beer bug, I guess you'd call it. Can't say because this is a brand new channel, and you can't really, get on the radar of the powers that be at YouTube. So, let's see. Mongolian Monster wants to call in Saturday. Okay. You don't want to follow this. All right, brother. You can call in whenever you want to. That's fine. But the powers that be are mixing up the signals. You do this and you can do that. Well, once you do that, you still can't do this. The promises that were given, and they're not keeping them. And it's just, I just don't understand it, how they get by this, and it's presumed that we have such short memories. I don't know.
And isn't it crazy that for you and me, we haven't really fell for any of these promises, so we haven't really felt that, and these people literally fell for the promises, and then they get lied to, and then they get laughed at right in their face, I just don't know how they keep doing that. And now these people have to get boosters and stuff. I don't know if that's going to work out. A lot of people are fed up with it, and I just know I wouldn't be able to keep a residual schedule going to the market.
Well, it was crazy how they made everybody, you can't touch me, you can't get within 6 feet of me, and okay, and literally, I know of a family that had, it was like the size of a Brady Bunch. All but 2 got the beard bug, and went through the 2 weeks of, don't get out, don't do this, don't do that. And the 2 folks, one of the folks doesn't live there but part-time, but the one of them never got it, never got tested positive for the beer bug. And after everybody went through their, 2 weeks and come back with a negative test, the person that got tested negative throughout this whole measure of time has to be in quarantine for 2 more weeks, even though never got a positive test. And that,
the hypocrisy is so real.
You're like, okay, so do we trust the test or don't we trust the test? What the hell's going on here? And you kind of scratch your head and go, all right, well, something is amiss here. And if you don't complain about it, why go through all this? But that's just me thinking out loud. Do people take this sitting down? Oh, yeah, every freaking day. And it's just me being boisterous and kind of getting out the soapbox. Don't trust the powers that be, folks, is all I can tell you. They're going to tell you whatever they want to tell you to get you to do what they want you to do. No matter what crazy reasons they come up with. Wear 3 masks. That'll help. Yeah. A 2-cent piece of fabric's going to keep you from getting something that relatively would be comparable to a gnat flying through a fence line. Yep, sure will. That'll work. Right. So.
It literally says it on the box that it doesn't protect. And it's just such a disgrace. Like, it's so weird seeing the 2 channels, because I see all the reports of the Freedom of Information Acts being released, and then it has the vital details of, like, what medicines actually fix it, and that, the air transmission is dang near impossible. But then there's the media. It's like, oh, my gosh, we still got this clown on TV, big ears telling us what to do. He can't even throw a frickin' baseball, and he's trying to tell me what to do. Bro, how about you go out and hit these trails? Like, you can't do it. Oh, my gosh, it's sad. We need to wake the F up, or we're not even going to have podcasts and internet. I keep saying it. I enjoy this, and we have to bound together, and we can't give in. And all these music places and festivals and the Mothman Festival, canceling. Come on, man. Canceling does nothing. It's horrible for the community. It's terrible. People lose their money, and their lives, man. It's sad. We have to stick together and give people hope, and canceling does nothing. And it's a bunch of cowards giving weak little examples and explanations.
It's a bunch of zombies. Zombies eat their own, is all I can tell you. It's a bunch of zombies. Zombies will turn on a zombie for sure if No doubt about it. They don't have, there's a car driving down the road with nobody behind the wheel other than somebody that's half drunk. That's about it. It's the way I look at how they perceive the public.
Yeah, if I was a police officer and I saw someone driving with a mask on, I would say, "Sir, are you wasted? Like, do you know where you are right now? You're alone, sir.
In your car with the
You're
window
driving
down."
with a diaper." and
I have
people,
seen that.
once you touch something and you touch the mask, it's disgusting.
Oh yeah. Well,
I don't touch the bathrooms, public bathrooms. I use my feet.
It is what it is. And talking about this, sooner or later we'll get somebody saying, "Hey, Sean's talking about something they shouldn't have." Oh, okay. Well, that's part of chasing the truth, but I also know that I'd like to keep the channel a little bit. All that being said is, oh shit, I said it again. Anyway, just pay attention, do your own research. Is this a medical channel? No. Am I a doctor? Nope. And honestly, I don't care if you took the shot or took the injection or took whatever. If you did, fine. Just stay away from me. If you didn't, I don't care. That's your choice, your body, your choice. If you think otherwise, you're not in the United States. That's just me. I've seen countries where they actually chase you down to give you these things. And I don't want that to happen in these streets. And to listen to some of the naysayers and saying, "Hey, you need to take this because," or whatever. There's plenty of people out there that has medical problems that don't need to take this. Absolutely. And I know one person personally that's called in the show several times. Heart disease, can't take it. Can't take it no matter what. Okay. All right.
Dangerous, man. The rhetoric they're using, they're saying the beds are running low, so only the, experimented can be worked on. It's real crazy, man. It's dark times ahead. We have to bond together. But on a positive note, Miss T bought a book of mine today, Big Brother, Bigfoot. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what she thinks of it, and hopefully
I will be able to read a little bit of that book. So we'll see. May do a review on your book and invite you on and say, "Hey, I thought about this book, and you misspelled this word here." No,
yeah, Rougarou has about 4 different spellings. No, but there's definitely a couple formatting errors.
Oh man,
the perfectionist in me.
I was just trying to pull. I wasn't getting you to comment. I was just pulling your leg. I was making a joke.
Oh no, I know you are, but I'm just honest, and I did it all myself. So I'll tell you right now. I'm like, oh yeah, I wish Kolamoki was on this page so it doesn't fold over. It's Picasso, potato, Picasso, potato, macaroni, it's all the same. It's all on my plate and I'm hungry.
Yeah. You need to go back to my Saturday show. I had 2 call-ins that were right up your alley. One was a Bigfoot encounter by this guy named Levi that was doing I think an open pit fire or something with his wife, and they heard a kid crying, a baby crying out in the woods. So he goes over and he's confronted by this 8 to 10 foot tall Bigfoot and growling and all this other stuff. And I'm like, well, you just messed with a Bigfoot pod, and spooked them. They were paying attention to their little kid, and you wound up and spooked the shit out of them. And then there was another one, Adam, that called in. And he had a dogman encounter on the Alabama-Florida line. And still, you definitely have to pay attention to that one. Now, I've been trying to get in touch with him, left him a message on text message. His voicemail was totally full, so I can see that. But I left him a text message, get him back on the channel, and I was trying to get him on tonight. But unfortunately, the powers that be did not want that to happen. But he had some interesting stuff. Scat in his yard, in his mama's yard, that had full-grown deer hooves in the mix in the scat.
That's crazy. That's
crazy.
That's some wild stuff.
Yeah. So that was definitely one. It started out a little slow, that show, which all my shows usually, not all the time, but sometimes they usually start out slow, but they end on a really rocking point. So it's amazing how many people want to call in and say, "Hey, I had this experience." And
it's a truly special platform that you give people, man, and you're so open-minded that it allows people to be clear with their message. You don't really have to bounce around and be like, "Oh, am I gonna offend Sean?" No, Sean's open-minded and very tough, so you're not gonna offend Sean, and he probably is gonna know some kind of link to something you're talking about, man. I'm still trying to think about that black dog encounter you told me about Chippewa Lake, literally, because that lines up with the Sleepy Hollow Wolfman of my childhood. So yeah, man, I always appreciate the link to something new, and I'm definitely gonna check out that episode. We were down in the canyon, and I said something to Mo, because I was like, "Oh, Sean's episode's going right now," but none of us had service or anything, and that would have been really cool. But man, it was impossible, and I liked it. I didn't talk to anybody on my, virtually or electronically for 4 days. Then I came back to reality. Some people, were worried about other people and they had responsibilities, so it was a bummer for some, and some people didn't make it. And I think the bad reception had something to do with it. They were probably like halfway and they were texting ahead like, "Hey, do I have a campsite?" And they got no response. My go with the flow. You just go, and someone will provide. And if not, then just sleep in your car on the side of the road. Oh man. But yeah, I appreciate the platform, and we always have a magical night, chopping it up. I'm really looking forward to the next episode. Hopefully Mogian and I will, be able to chit chat and tell our stories to everybody on Chasing the Truth. And excuse me, I definitely appreciate, yeah, oh yeah, get the gas
Bigfoot
out,
call. Bigfoot call, buddy.
Yeah, that is the good thing about sneezes and burps. They are natural Bigfoot calls, so you don't even have to go out there howling. Just, eat some baked beans and go on a hike, and they'll smell you and they'll hear you before they see you.
Oh my!
But yeah, you got to think outside the box when you're looking for these cryptids, and that's where my name of the game starts.
Oh yeah, well you definitely you're way beyond open-minded in my book, so. Definitely go for Bigfoot Anonymous, Bigfoot Anon, on various platforms from Facebook to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. You got any other platforms that you post anything on?
Oh man. Could you hear that? The internal sound? Phones are so crazy. Sorry for getting off track. Phones are so crazy how you can't hear the internal sound sometimes. Like how would you be able to hear? You wouldn't hear it, but I can full blast. It's super weird. But I have Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, pretty much all the ones you just said, of course. But yeah, my TikTok is blazing right now. Got that video going viral. So on the quest for 1 million. I'm gonna try to put that out there. I hope this shooting at Bigfoot video gets 1 million views, and hopefully this puts me into the next echelon of TikTok, and I'm just going to run with it. And I'm really loving the momentum on YouTube as well. I go on, Gypsy Road 3 times a week. Me and Eric do horror talk every Tuesday and Thursday. And then I appear on thank you, man. I love that show, and Gypsy Road is an incredible dude. He was down and out this weekend, and he almost freaking bit the dust, and he thought it was the beer bug, but it was not. So, guys, other things still exist out there, That doesn't mean hide. That means go live, God dang. Go eat some mud pies and be a kid again. I was eating Shamor sandwiches. They were Schmorios. That's what Squatching Cowboy was saying. He came over past my camp, and I had a coat hanger with the Oreo, cooking a Schmorio, and that That was classic. It was just so awesome having so many jokes and good times, and that's what the community really needs. There's so many squares and backstabbers, so we need some real people with some fun stories that just go straight at them. And a lot of people, north of America, north of Detroit, and north of Washington, they have some other traditions, and we just have to bound together and stop being so judgmental and really start to open our minds when it comes to Sasquatch. If you think there's the woo, like, get real. Particle and waveform, guys. We're particle most of the time. We can become waveform if we become our true being. And, like, the soul is older than Earth. And coincidence is the only thing that never exists. Energy is never created nor destroyed. Heaven is a real physical place. The Earth takes shape like clay pressed under a seal. Like, it says it right there. There are thousands of continents, and mammoths still exist. So don't get too worried. They're not extinct, guys. Be happy. And unicorns, of course, are real. We couldn't make up something that beautiful. Nothing is able to be made up in the human mind. We just pull from existence. I was telling that freaking doctrine guy that, and he was just like, just looking at me. He couldn't say I wasn't wrong, and it felt good being the freaking college dropout, spitting some knowledge to the doctors. Maybe they'll take that to the lab with them. I sure hope not for the patients feeling. But guys, have a good one. Please check me out on TikTok and YouTube. Let's keep the momentum going. Keep the positivity going. Keep the questions coming, and send me some encounters for the next book. Panhandle Pirates just got put out on Amazon. There's some pictures of me and Mogion in there, and stories of Donnie Miller and Tim T, the tracker, and Tristan and Cameron from Hidden Relief with elves and gremlins and gargoyles and frickin' pterodactyls. So guys, open up your mind, open up the box. Check out me on Horror Talk every Tuesday and Thursday, because I love watching movies and talking about them. And check out Zillafoot. It's going to be in Walmart freaking October 5th. And hopefully I get a check cut for that, man, so I can get out of the trailer park. No, I love it here, man. Florida is kingdom. It's paradise, man. I live right by Otese Pond and right by Torreya State Park, right where the Creator put me and needed me. And I'm always looking for the creature from Black Lagoon. And guys, volcanoes are a hoax. You heard it here. Later, y'all.
Yeah, all you need is a bandana around your forehead like Mogion, and you'll be just fine. You'll fit in.
100%.
Right,
Sean,
brother.
take it easy, brother. I will see you soon. Mogs, take it easy. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Warm up the jet skis, baby. We're going to look for the Buccaneers' lost treasure. Woohoo!
Oh, that's cool, man. Take it easy. And he's gone. Can you believe if I could bottle that energy some way, somehow, I would make $1 bazillion off that fella. That is crazy. Let's see, from the area code 904, Cameron, just mentioned his name in the text message from Jacksonville, Florida. You need to email me those pictures at seang@imdarkwaters.com. How my text messages and stuff set up in Skype, I do not get media from that. I can send text messages, but and receive text messages, but I don't get media. I can't send or receive them. So send it to me at seang@imdarkwaters.com. And wow, can you believe that? Miss T had, I seen that she said, hey, I'm going to tell my stories. She's told a couple of stories. She's her and her mother and her brother. Actually, one of the most listened to YouTube videos I have ever done. I forgot, it was in the 50,000K range, 50K, pretty close. I have to go back and look. What her brother told, part of the same story she told of a dogman encounter. And I had her and her mother on, and I've heard that same story from 3 different point of views up in Canada. And all I can tell you is it's wild and it's crazy. It's amazing. It's baffling. It's scary. And there is other parts of the story from other perspectives that I probably will never be able to get those folks on my show to tell that perspective of what is this other perspective of the same story of seeing a dog man in the middle of a road and then follow him back to the house. But hard to tell. But Misty is always welcome to be on the show. I've even said, hey, hon, would you like to be on the show with me and just chop it up a little bit and banter back and forth? Well, who knows? It might happen. But Mogion, definitely would love to have you on the show anytime you want to. You just call in. Great to have you on here. Just like I had fun being on your show. You know, just jumped on there and live stream. J.D. Simmons, I didn't know that. Sean G, where to look. What are you talking about? When I see the chat, it's about 30 seconds post whatever, but restate that question and give me a little bit more information that you're asking. But audio recorder set on a loop if you saw inside his head. Oh. We're probably talking about Bigfoot Anonymous, Connor there. But holy cow, Connor is he is every cryptid hunter's I don't know if you energy, cryptid hunter's energy. If any cryptid hunter out there could have half the energy that Bigfoot Anonymous has, we'd have Bigfoot sitting in our backyards and signing autographs. We'd find that sucker and have him out here. So that's interesting to say the least. Miss T's Dogman encounter. Yeah, it is on, let's see, hold on just a second. Let me hop over on I can definitely give you the encounter. I have to hop over on my Discord server. Let's see, pin messages. I can give a version of it. Not her version, but so we got Thaddeus Cray. Where'd it go? Oh, that's older. Aha, here we go. Let me see how many is on here. But let's paste here this one. And see, I don't want it to play because now, YouTube can kind of be, it's up to 46.2K on this. But definitely listen to this one. This is part of it. Her brother's only on this particular video for about an hour. I think it was an hour. And his energy is out the roof. You just can see it. You can feel it. It's palpable when he talks about this encounter. Let's see, hold on just a second. I got so many windows when I talk about this, or do this thing. There's so many windows. Oh, wow. Yeah, bust Connor's chops anytime you get. But here is the Dogman encounter that I was talking about earlier. Let's see, there we go. And this is one of the most listened to radio shows that I've ever done, podcast. And this is true from Canada, actually. I've talked to 3 different people, tell me the same freaking story from 3 different point of views. And I've never had them all 3 on at one time, but here's that one. And it's up to 46.2, and definitely the guy that's on there that that I had on the radio show there, he's got a different kind of vibe along the lines of probably Connor. Same type of energy he's got, definitely. But folks, if you want to reach out to me, always you can reach out to me through my email, SeanG@IamDarkWaters.com, SHAWNG. The Connor juice, yep. Yep, Tony, that's definitely it, the Connor juice. So, I don't know. Miss T, do you have a copy of the actual YouTube link that you can post for that show? Well, there was a couple shows that you and your mother were on. Or just you, then you and your mother. But you can post those if you got them. I don't have them readily at hand. But the whole thing is just mind-boggling. We will probably have to redo them over here and get this channel populated with that particular story. The Connor, yeah, that might be just a little weird. Yeah, it does sound a little greasy. The Connor supernatural expletive, maybe that sounds about right. The Connor, Bigfoot Anon, may have to hold a little prize thing for what would be the best Connor energy drink name. Just for funsies. And as per usual, I was trying to get a word in edgewise with Connor, and it's like you say one thing and 30 minutes later you're like, has he took a breath yet? Mammoths in Siberia, yep, absolutely, John Paul. There's definitely mammoths around, and if the weird thing is, well, actually probably not weird, probably true as the day is long. If science comes out and says, hey, we can do this, or we're thinking about we can do this, they've probably been doing it for decades. Clones, yep, absolutely. They cloned what was that, goat or sheep? Dolly the sheep, you remember that? You think that was the first clone? I bet not. Crackhead. Yeah, there you go, crackhead. Well, you didn't have to remove that. Let's see. I don't know. What would be a good Connor energy drink name? There's so many choices, and I'm sure some of them probably get held for a review if we put them in the chat there. But holy cow! Your story you only told once, first ever podcast, dog. Oh yeah, you're right. That's probably one of the reasons. Misty has a memory that keeps me straight. My memory is very poor, especially when it comes down to time frames, and I've talked about how I view time. 1 second is like 1 minute, is like 1 hour, is like 1 day. It flies by just as fast. I have, since my near-death experience, my time conception is always in fast forward. And, a lot of people's asked, hey, well, why can't you just, ask God to pray it away? Nope. Why would I pray away a gift from God? I've got this gift for some reason. And I'm not going to say, hey, God, take this away from me. Does it cause me trouble sometimes? Sure it does. Absolutely. If you're always seeing time and fast forward, you're going to miss a couple of things. Well, Mogyan, I saw it. It was in review, but it's Splashes of Connor. Oh, no. Splashes of Connor. Oh, my Lord. Yeah, you did retract it there, Mogyan. You can say, I can say crackhead, but who knows? Let's see. The essence of, oh no, I don't know. There's essence of emerald, essence of Connor. That sounds kind of disgusting too, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to stay on for a couple, this is 3 hours now? Alright, so if nobody calls in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to give it up and say good night, folks. So, you got 10 minutes. If nobody calls, 10 minutes is done, and that will be the last caller. So, heads up, this is the last caller call, or I'm going to kick you out of my podcast, I guess you would call it, since I'm not on the Paranormal Radio app for crazy reasons. Just reasons. So, 931-994-6917. Write that number down. You can contact me after the show, during the day, when the sun's actually up. It's raining. And I can't believe nobody can hear the rain in the background. It's raining kind of hard at parts. But, go and look that up later. Yeah, definitely look up at, it's that video I just posted in the chat about the Dogman encounter. It's a 4-hour-long video, but only an hour of it was my show. It was during the time when James Dark Waters was posting a lot of stuff, and I interrupted one of his live streams. So, and got in there. Said, "Hey, boy, I need this time right now." But that's interesting, and I do have. I may post. Well, I've got all my shows from the very first time Miss T and I ever talked on a podcast. I've got that recorded. So, okay, Mogion, Saturday night, great. Saturday night, folks. If you're just about ready to leave, I possibly will have the Standeyo, standeyo.com, STANDEADEYO. STANDEYO.com will possibly be on my show Saturday night. He had to bow out of the last show because he had a surgery and had kidney stone problems, which that is absolutely a good reason to miss miss a little show. That's, I've had kidney stones, and it absolutely bent me over in pain. So I don't have any reasons to be negative about Standeyo missing that show whatsoever. But it turned out to be a good show. That's one of those shows you do exactly what I did just now, tonight. Open lines. And get these incredible... Thanks, Edward, for calling in and telling us your story again about the missing time. That is one of those... Holy cow, I just got one of those stories on live on air moments. Last show, Adam and Levi, both opposite, cryptid stories, but I'm like, wow, cryptids galore, UFOs stories that night too. When you come on and you listen to one of my shows and you think, well, I'm going to skip ahead until I find one, you gotta listen to all these stories, man. You never know who's going to call in. You never know what's going to call in or what is going to happen. Mogion, peace, brother. God bless, and we'll see you Saturday night or whenever you go live. I'll try to pop on if I see you on, buddy. But thanks for dropping by, brother. Always a pleasure, always. But J.D. Simmons, yeah, look up what I've got, 160 now shows in my pocket. I have to sit down and actually go over that and see how many I've got. I've got dozens over on my iTunes channel. And definitely go over there to Chasing Truth Sean G iTunes channel. This particular podcast radio show, well, it's not a radio show. I'm not hooked up to anything but YouTube right now. Excuse me. Can you believe it? This is, 3 years now, Miss T? I've been doing this. Holy cow, wait a minute. Wait. What is this? Is this the man, no. Oh, here we go. Copy. Let me see what this is. This hyperlink she sent. Is this it? Is this the actual thing I was talking to you guys about? Wildest Dogman encounter ever. Yeah, that's the one I posted earlier. Wildest Dogman encounter ever. That's one. You can hear Miss T in the background talking to her brother, saying, "Hey, her brother has definitely got a palpable energy, without a doubt. That boy's got some energy. He's wild, funny, and crazy, all at the same time. Very intelligent man. I respect him and love him like a brother. He's just one of these funny creatures that God blessed on this planet. But he's definitely got a energy when he tells a story. So definitely listen to that stuff. That's what you need to do. And it's up to like 46,000. That's the most listened to radio show I've ever put out. 46,000. Which that doesn't mean that's going to be the Hail Mary that I did, what was that, 2 years ago? Something like that. I've got plenty other stories out there. Oh, okay. Oh, I might have. Let's see. Cameron, hey, buddy, do I have permission from you? Just text it to me to post that Goatman. Let me see if I've got it. Apparently, I've got a Goatman picture. That was emailed to me. I'm hoping. Let's see. Nope, not yet. Not yet. But, well, let's see. There's a guy that emailed me earlier today. I meant to mention this. That was one of the first things. Jim, I appreciate you. I have not gotten in touch with Levi, but if I do, I will relay this information to him. I don't know. But we'll see. But, Jim, I appreciate you. Apparently, a lot of people like that Levi story. I got a couple emails concerning it. All right. Well, I'm looking for it. Did you, let's see. Let me get back to Cameron. Did you send it to SeanG@imdarkwaters.com? Let me refresh my mailbox. I would love to post that before I get, SHAWNG@imdarkwaters.com. Let me, why not? Let me text message this to you. My email address and make sure everything all right, so you should be getting that. I do not have that email per se, but thank you for the information there. Once I get that, I will post it if I get it before. I may have a hot picture of a Goatman down in Georgia, lovely state. It gets too flat for me. This old country boy that had grew up in mountains in Southwest Virginia and Kentucky and East Tennessee and over in North Carolina, that's where my stomping grounds is, Kentucky. When I get into flat ground, I get a little nervous. You know, I don't know, it's just the weird sensation of me getting out of the mountains. You know, Terry, Miss T, says I look like Bigfoot. I just shaved off some of my beard. I said, as soon as I sent her a picture of me with a cut down beard, she said, I'm glad there's no longer three people in this. The Sasquatch you is gone in this relationship. But holy cow. But yeah. Oh, here we go. I got it. Oh, man. This is real, Cameron? Okay. Folks, let me, let's see. I'm going to add this to photos, and then this apparently was taken in Georgia. And I butchered that creek name. Calhoochee? Is that it? How you pronounce it? Goatman? Hold on just a second. And hold on, folks. Well, I've got this. I do have the email. And give me just a second so I'll post it here. Let me add this to it. Oh, that's all right, brother. I got it just now. Thank you, Cameron, for sending this. And I do have full permission. I've got permission in the email as well. But give me just a second. I'm going to get a picture of a Goatman up here in just a second. My image. But this looks. This is not a what I would refer to as a blob squatch. Just to say so. And hold on just a second. Let me get this up. This is over in my photographs, I think. Where'd it go? Yeah. Aha. Okay. What I'm about ready to post, folks, is from Georgia. Chattahoochee River in Georgia. And this is it. This is from Cameron. I got full permission from him to post this. Apparently this is Goatman. Thanks, Cameron, for this. Definitely going to keep this in the archives for sure. This is one of the better ones that I have seen. This is not one of those, obviously Miss T and I have had conversations over, well, do you see that? No, I don't see that, sweetheart. Where do you see that at? So, Tallahassee, Florida. This is from Tallahassee, Florida. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I misspoke. This picture of Goatman's from Tallahassee, Florida. Tallahassee, Florida, folks. Cameron, do you want to call in? 931-994-6917. Call in and let's talk about this picture. And definitely want to see what's going on with you, how you got your hands on this picture, and some backstory. At least get that out. 931-994-6917. Well, you text messaged me this, so you can call that number that you text message, everybody, and let me get you on the horn here. But Jackson, Florida. Picture everyone sees is Harry. To see Harry Sherbin will be on Dogman Cams, and I gave him Wes Bick's email, so he can also be on your show sometime as well. So I scooped Dogman Cams. Oh, well, there you go. All right, hold on just a second there, Cameron. I got you on. Let me put you on the radio here, on the thing. Cameron, hey, buddy, what's going on?
Not much. How you doing?
Doing all right. So this picture's from Tallahassee, Florida, correct?
Yes, sir. It was taken by a guy named Harry Sherman. He's a good friend of mine on Facebook. He's not feeling well. He had a pretty bad illness, but he's coming back to soon, and hopefully he'll be on air. He's supposed to be on air first at Dogman Cams, and I'll try to shoot him your way as well. But yes, he is a Dogman researcher and cryptids. He likes to take a bike, through long trails and stuff like that, through the woods and stuff. He set up good cameras and stuff. He saw this picture. He said about a football and a field half, and that would be about 100 to 150 yards, if I'm not mistaken. And he shot the picture. He also took a picture of a half Dogman and half Bigfoot as well, and I know a lady that interacts with them, and she interacts with the half Dogman and half Bigfoot, and it looks pretty similar. So,
oh wow! Well, thank you, Cameron. If I could have said, "Hey, I want the best picture I've ever seen of a Goatman," which honestly, everything I've seen of Goatman is just blotchy, pixelated. This is pretty straight up, as clear as I've seen it.
Well, that picture of half Dogman, half Bigfoot, it's just as clear as day as that one. But they kind of got like a black bear kind of face to him, but you can definitely tell it's not a black bear. He's laid out on the ground. His hands, he's got one hand in front of him, and it looks like he's got probably about like 3-inch claws.
Okay.
But he's laid out just like a person on the ground. So, but. Yeah, man, glad you enjoyed the picture. I had a hard time trying to get that to you, man, but I was rushing.
That's all right. The way I've got this thing set up with Skype, does text messages, does calls all day long, but anything that has to do with media, it frowns itself, unless it's Skype to Skype. Then I can, get media all day long. But if it's a text message media thing, nope, it doesn't like it. But I appreciate it, brother. That, I was wondering how in the heck would I top all the other calls, including Edward. This one, I don't know. It's up there in my top 3 pictures I've received so far.
Oh, I appreciate it, man, but I can't lay the claim. You know, that's Harry Sherman's picture. But like I said, you know, yeah, Harry Sherman. He's from he's in Tallahassee, Florida, and that's where he got the picture, took the picture. But anyways, yeah, like I said, man, I'll shoot him your way, man, as soon as he starts feeling it, you know, a little bit better. So.
All right. Well, you know, this day and age, yeah, everybody gets sick, and I know that for sure. I've been on death's door myself. But wow, Cameron, I appreciate it. And tell Harry, thanks for the picture. That is
yes,
impressive.
sir, no problem.
All right, I can hardly wait to have him on my show. Well, of course, Dogman Cams will have hopefully Harry on there as soon as possible.
Okay. All right, man. Well, it's good talking to you.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for calling in and sending the picture in.
All right. Thank you, man. Bye.
All right, bye. All right. Well, okay, folks, that's it. I don't know how else to, end the show. I just honestly, hey, Lakaya, look at that. Show this end of this thing to your husband, Walt, and see what he has to say about this. Look, this is down in Tallahassee, Florida. From actually, the one that shared it with me, his name's Cameron, but this picture was taken by Harry Sherman, Tallahassee, Florida. Now, how the heck he got this thing, I don't know. This definitely isn't a blob squatch. There's a lot of things you could probably poke holes in it all day long, but I don't know. We'll see. But folks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the show tonight, and as I do the show ending, as everybody that is part of the show or has listened to the show or you're a first time listener, and I've talked everything from ghosts to, I think we talked about demons a little bit, talked about everything supernatural, especially with Connor on the line. Edward from North Carolina, thank you, sir, for calling in and talking about your missing time that you had about 3 weeks ago. Go back and listen to that. If you're just catching the end of this thing, follow. It's been a bit. Harry Sherman is where this came from. So hopefully Dogman Cams will get him on there. But this is from Tallahassee, this particular Goatman shot, which I'm going to go ahead and just hide that thing. I think it's up for everybody to be able to copy and paste it on whatever they want to. But there you go. Folks, thank you for all the people that called in from one-man band didn't call in. Hey, man, I seen you in the chat, so you didn't call in, just letting you know. But I'm not accepting calls now. Thanks to all the wrench holders. Thanks to everybody that's been in the chat. Edward, appreciate it. Wes from the dogmancams.com, Wes. My show producer, and Wes is also show producer over at Dogman Cams. Thank you for calling in. Holy cow, how can you top that? That's just a wild, wild stuff. So, folks, here it is. This is the end of the show. Here's the ending prayer to wrap it up. Dear God in heaven, thank you for tonight's show. Thank you for everybody that called in. Thank you for those folks that gave part of their day, minutes, even seconds to listen to this show. I beg you to bless them, bless my house, bless my equipment, bless the folks that are listening in their houses. Keep them safe from everything demonic, negative, extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional, anything that's out to ruin the souls of man. Anything that has never walked this earth in the form of man. Keep us safe. I beg to Jesus' blood, plead the blood of Jesus Christ on everyone in every household. Dear God, thank you for this show. Thank you for the blessings that you have given to me. Lead and guide us all. In Jesus Christ's name, I pray. Amen. Folks, I don't know how else to end the show other than that. And wow, how can you end with, I've heard tales of, Goatman, but I've never seen a picture like that before. So, anyway, folks, this is it. See me Saturday night. Hopefully I'll have Stan Deo if he returns and says, hey, I can do the 11th. Saturday the 11th over on the Dark Waters channel over there. Join me then. You never know what's going to be next when I'm on there. You never know. But holy cow. Thank you, folks. And let me get the this stuff right here. Here we go. Have a good night, folks. God bless y'all.
Do ghosts really exist? Are we alone? Is there life after death?
It looks like a giant ape with a man's face.
We've done some testing to determine if it is a synthesizer or not. It's starting to come at me. It's very difficult to do with the